asalaamaaleykum mbokk yi ma ngi leen a nuyu yéen ñëpp seen tur ak seen sant di leen jaar bu baax a baax comme niñ ko dee defee rek di leen ñaanal jàmm di wax ne tey moom suñu programme bi liñ bëgg a def mooy suñu président bi nga xam ne dafa ñëwoon England muy président Barrow moom lañ bëgg a ñëw tey waxtaanee rek ñëwam bi si England especially bi mu demee dafay meet the Gambian community in the UK organizers yi. I have two of them here. I have Mr. James Barrow and I have Njog Malik as well. And I have my team members, Marion Johnson and Ibrahim Anyas will be joining us a little bit in a little bit. But I have Bakari Ba, and I have our Ba who was there as well doing a live coverage, and I think she did ask a question as well. So tey moom lañ ñëwee tey waxtaan bi dañ bëgg a waxtaan rek anybody who wants to participate, all you have to do is send me a message on Messenger or on the comment box. Just send me a message and then we'll take it from there. Léegi li ma def mooy ma bàyyi gars yi nag ñoom ñëpp ñu introduce seen bopp benn bala ñu dugg ci waxtaan bi jërëjëf kon nag ñu commencé ko rek si jigéen yi Awa ma bàyyi la nga introduce sa bopp. I can see ne Awa yaa ngi mute sa bopp unmute su ko defee nga introduce sa bopp.
Hello, man maay Awa Ba maa ngi woon démb si programme bi ba pare amoon naa di opportunity pour laajte question and I was also streaming live on Facebook.
Thank you. Bakari.
Hello, good evening. Bakari Ba in UK. Unfortunately, I've lost her. Why I was very grateful. The media team did a very good job, and I was managed to follow it live from their live feeds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now we have Njok Malik.
Yeah, hello, good evening, everyone. I am Jog Malik, London, UK. I was part of the organizing team yesterday.
Okay. We have Uncle James.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Name is Uncle James Barrow. I was one of the organizers of yesterday's event.
Okay, and then we have Marion Johnson.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Elite Media tonight. I'm grateful to see Mr. James Barrow and Mr. Njog Malik, and welcome on board as well, Mr. Bakari Ba and Miss Amiba as well. I was there just like you two, and I did a bit of live coverage as well, but my battery ran out, but still, I was there in person. So welcome on board and good evening to you all.
jërëjëf loolu suñ panel baa ngi nii tey nag moom dañ am a mixture because we have Njok who will be speaking in terms of like being part of the organizing team and Mr. Bahum as well, and we have I don't know what Bakariba is coming up with and our as well xam naa man Marian and Ibrahim Anyas we already discussed what we're gonna talk about. So I know what my team is going to talk about, but I don't know what the rest is going to talk about. So we'll just do it in a civilized manner and then we'll take it from there. First of all, I will start with you, Njok Malik. Njok, you like Kumate. Yes. How did it all started, Njok? Naka ngeen def ba egg fi ngeen egg si fii nii as you know, naka ngeen organiser mbir gi daal foofu lañ bëgg a commencer anyway.
Hello again, Mata. Well, to start with, I think when we heard that the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, was coming to UK for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, we thought it would be good for the first time that after 22 years, or I guess, well, for a very long time, even before Jammeh, we didn't have any visiting kind of Gambian head of state in UK. So it would be good to have a public meeting. Obviously, the Gambian embassy were planning to have their own meeting, but we thought we will have a separate meeting that was just, you know, outside of the scope of the sort of kind of Gambian embassy sort of remit. So we wanted to have one that is owned by the Gambians. And that's how it started. Then someone like Gibril Fall and James Bahum, who are part of this MSDG, that is already working with the government to engage the diasporans and the present Gambian government in terms of contributing to the development, diaspora development sort of strategy. That's what this MSDGP project is all about. So GPRO got in touch, and then we initiated sort of a kind of a meeting with the Gambia embassy, and we told them about our plans to have a second meeting because we knew they wanted to obviously hold one for the, that was meant to be more of a reception for the government and Gambians and friends of Gambians. So that's how really it started. Then at one point, the options of two events wasn't kind of happening, but we were really in advanced stage of our planning. We were talking to other sort of Gambian organizations who were on the ground, especially during the sort of dictatorship, who were really organizing really to get Jammeh out. So there were some other, like I say, movements. I don't know what's the best way to call them. Other organizations, per se, who wanted to have this thing happen. So we were all talking, and then in the end, like I say, most of the plans were kind of falling through, really not quite happening. But we were adamant that we would have one for whatever. So we thought. Fast forward, we thought the best way was, because we were going to have this public meeting in any case, no matter what, we were going to have this second meeting. So we thought the best way is to liaise now with the Gambia embassy, just to have one meeting, because for other reasons, the plan of two meetings wasn't kind of happening, to cut to the chase. So that's how we started to liaise more in how to sort of bring these two meetings together to make it one meeting, really. But sort of the independence of MSDG as the main organizer would still hold. So that's how really things started.
Okay, and then planning B, how long ago, Lawon? Can you start the plan, Loronon?
I think we started having meetings with the Gambia embassy as, I would say, late February or March, early March, I would think. Jagan, I'm not too sure of the dates, but it was that early March, wasn't it?
Yes, roundabout, yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Okay.
around early March, yeah.
I'll come to why I asked that question, Malik, because if I can now we are in like April into May. This depuis February, so the family embassy is a president at some point he was gonna come here, right? Because a lot of people, the feedback that I'm getting from people is like a lot of people did not even know about this. President Barrow, dafa hold a meeting, dafa hold like this thing with the Gambian community, right? So what happened there, publicity wise, and I don't know what happened there.
Well, again, like I say, the embassy, they were meant to have their own meeting, which is separate from this other one that us as Gambians, especially under MSDG, who already have an established working relation with the government, wanted to organize. So this was meant to be a second meeting. In terms of why it took so long, because there was a lot of things in suspense. Nothing was really confirmed in terms of, okay. At first we were thinking whether we were going to have the Gambia embassy wanted to have their meeting on the Friday, and we were going to have this community meeting on the Saturday. So plans were really, most plans were not confirmed in time. So up until the last, I would say, 2 weeks, because we had 3 venues during the course of all these things that were cancelled, that were confirmed and cancelled, not confirmed strongly, but penciled in and just awaiting payment. But in the end, we have to cancel because of changes. So in the end, before everything was finalized, that MSDG got the letter from the Foreign Office to say, yes, go ahead with this date. It was barely 2 weeks to go. So there was a lot of unconfirmed things behind the scene. That's why we couldn't go public, really.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you. I know you've given me only 15 minutes of your time. Mr. Bahum, welcome on board. Thanks for coming as well. Yes, I will just pick it up from where Njok Kumpa Better, I will still pose you that question, like publicity, because a lot of people are complaining. I get that a lot on Messenger. Like they didn't know about this, or it has gone one-sided. Few people know. It's like it's one circle. So lan mo xew fofu nonu su fekke yeen doon wopon li ak ñi ni naka la tudati Gambian embassy. So what happened there?
Well, I think man nuyu ñep delu nuyu ñep ñi nekk ci panel bi ak yow ci sa bopp Fatima ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy seetaan sa show bi. I think li gën a fair mooy pour ñu start from the basis ne doo dee mun a am 100% satisfaction in anything you do. But also doo dee mun a am perfection because loolu is in the nature of human beings and what we do. So dafa fekk rek ne all the time dina am ñoo xam ne dinañ yëg wala duñ yëg. Dina am ñoo xam ne tamit dinañ dégga wala duñ dégga. So in that case, what we did, and given the time that we had to do as much of the publicity work, was very short, of course, because Nikon Jog explained amna yu bari yo xamne dafa later confirm, and so bëgguñoo jox misleading information by putting out publicity bo xamne dafa wrong and giving people the runaround. So we thought we have to wait for final confirmation of some of these things. Before we go out. So sometimes you're forced by circumstances, such as the venue issue was one. We had, a lot of, drawbacks from that, but also late information and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff you're having. Moo taxoon mënuñu woon a teel a génn si wax nit ñi loolu waaye bañ génnee tamit jéem nañ suñ këntalaay kàttan ndax make sure the information will get around. Ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekkoon am Facebook pages, they were sharing it, and it was also shared on the other platforms as well. Why our website, which is where we direct people all the time, www.gambiadiaspora.net, is full of information about these issues. So people who will maybe go there as a point of reference might find the information. So, of course, we realized that we also put it on Eventbrite, and that was to manage the numbers and the logistics, because the assumption was that the Nendon Army a lot more people than perhaps we were catering for, and that may have cost a little. And we were not very far from that truth, Lolo Degala, because the numbers that we had and the subsequent applications or registrations on the Eventbrite far outweigh and superseded the numbers that we actually had available. So for some logistics, you will try to manage. Why, like we said, this is the first of its kind, perhaps, in the country. And as a result, you will have a few shortcomings here and there, a few pitfalls. But we hope to make it better next time if we have the opportunity. And for those who
if I want to say, yes, I'm sure you will try and do better next time. But to be honest with you, I think you guys have done a very good job in terms of organizing the program. Well, from what we have, what we saw. But as nekuma fa woon, so ñu luñ leen def rek mooy seetaan ci Facebook bi, and luñ jotoon a gis, it looks like it really went well. Obviously, there are a few stuff that we will be criticizing you on. Sila boka,
Indeed,
wow.
Of course.
Wow, why balwala ñu lay criticize sax foog naa foog ñu ne kudos to all of you, because I think you held it well. In terms of security, I'll come to that, because I a few complaints. The security was not this best. You guys could have done better. Ba pare so gisoon ma laajoon jox about lii nii liñ doon di wax ne lan moo tax waxu leen ko bu baax a baax nit ñi dégg ko because am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi complain ne su fekkee da ngeen ko jël ci loxo dama koy waxee naka la ko nit ñi waxee bu fekkee da ngeen ko jël ci loxo Gambian embassy bi pour ne yéen da ngeen ko bëgg a pour Gambian yi yëpp why is it limited to certain people? Why didn't you do it in a bigger place where everybody can just come in? And then we get this information, which I heard Njok, they go na Njok Bumpowa, Ibrahim is larger than Njok Bundondi Wahne charging £100 because they got this story about like being charged £100 to get there. And a lot of people are coming from far away, having to buy petrol and all the expenses to you. But what you are they pay £100. Can you tell me about that? Is that
charging £100? I didn't even so honestly I didn't even realize that Nyas asked that question yesterday. I thought he just mentioned that some people assumed that they have to pay for the tickets. But then I said to him, again, I would just say this, that it was clearly stated that we wanted people to register, just like Jagan highlighted, for logistical and sort of monitoring purposes. That was the only reason. When you click on that registration, the process was so simple. All it asked is your name and your email address. That was the only basic questions data it was collecting from people who wanted to attend. At no point would you see that this ticket has to be paid for. It was a free ticket. It was just like sort of a registration process. And I don't see anything wrong with it, especially considering what we said. There were security issues. I mean, again, we're talking of a president. It's not any ordinary thing. It's like the biggest office. And as you can see, even a big country like UK, you can see the importance that was placed on it with all the security apparatus that was assigned to the coming of the head of state. So that's that, really. So I think
there is a misunderstanding here between you and me. What I mean by the security was not tight, I am getting from the ground, like saying President should have got better security than what he had from your end. Because at the end of the show, end of everything, everybody was rushing towards them to take pictures, some to take shake hands and do stuff. And like you said, this is the president of the Gambia. So security, coming from people that were there, and especially those that came from Gambia.
Well, when the president was filing out, I was upstairs, but I am assured that if you have professionals from the Scotland Yard and SAS team in place, I am sure they were balancing because they also understand about community sensibility. So I'm sure they would have been, if there was any sort of this thing, they would be mindful of that. Certainly, I don't have any sort of worry around the organizers, including Jagan, Fal, and all the organizers. We knew we had professional security people in there who would take utmost care, 100% professionally, that we knew. So I don't know really any sort of, like you mentioned, because I was upstairs, but I am assured if you have the Scotland Yard people, if there was any sort of security lapse, they would have sort of taken care of that.
Okay. All right. I'll put you on hold there, and I'll take our come in. You were doing a live coverage, and you had the opportunity to ask a question. Yes. We will come to the question bit, because question and answers, questions that were posed to the president. Did he answer the question? We'll come to that. So let's nobody talk about that for now. Yes, yeah. Give me your take on what happened yesterday.
Well, it was an interesting program. So I think well done to the organizers for pulling it off within a short space of time. I didn't pay a penny to get in, so I don't know where that is coming from. It was free and quite an easy process to register. My overall impression of the program was actually that it is in so many ways a missed opportunity. I thought it was purely a dialogue with the president but unfortunately, that didn't meet my expectations. There was a lot of praise singing, a lot of music. There was a huge delay in the start, and so I think we could have done. It could have been done a lot better. And sorry, my son is here.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay.
So I think that there are a lot of things to unpick around the sort of the way the program ran and how much time was allocated to dialogue. I think in the end it ended up being a celebration of Dabo and Barrow, and in my view, hijacked by the UDP. And I think it ended up really promoting the UDP as a party when we're in the midst of elections. So I think there's a lot to unpick there, which the organizers may or may not have been in control of. So those are my initial thoughts. I can elaborate if needed.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And for viewers' sake, for those of you that have just come in, this is not we're not here to talk about or criticize any party or for that matter. This is our opinion, and it's not Fatmata's opinion or anybody else. Everybody here on the as a panel have their opinion, so they're free to say whatever they want to say and how they want to say it. Because it's in President, so it's not about me bringing these people on board so that we criticize one party or we criticize one we just want to analyze how it was, and we want to be honest. Let's just bring it on the table with honesty. All right, we move on to Marian Johnson. Marian.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Elite Show tonight. I am here to just give a bit of a feedback of what I saw yesterday. And please do not be offended because I'm not picking on anyone. Like I always say, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just giving my opinion in certain cases, in certain places that I thought could have been done better or what could have been done instead. I would say I would first of all start by commending the organizers. Definitely. The diaspora organizers, which included Mr. Njog Malik and Mr. James Barrow, I think kudos to you. You guys have done a great job. Absolutely. Being an organizer myself, I think you really did do very well. The food was nice. The hospitality was great. The arrangements were fine. Everything was okay, except I had a few points, and that I don't think was anything with regards to what your organizing was about. It had nothing to do with your organizing. Anyway, I think the organizing was bang on. It was really good. Fatmata, I don't know where, do you want me to elaborate, and do you want me to go into all what I have to say? Or
you can. If I have to cut you at some point, I will have to. And okay.
Our terms of the organizers. First of all, I thank you for coordinating this event for us as Gambians, because for me it was very emotional from the beginning, because this is the first time that I have had the chance to attend something like this and to see my president after 22 years. I have never seen Yaya Jammeh doing such a thing. So it was a great thing that you guys come up with this, and you gave us, people like us, the chance to be able to represent and be there. So kudos to you, definitely. I think that was a well-organized program. In terms of around my criticisms, the first thing I definitely was very, very upset with was the speeches. I was so upset. I'll have to explain this, because I felt that the speeches could have been organized properly. And I'm sure probably it wasn't anything to do with you, the organizers. Then again, the reason why I will explain that I'm so hot was because I came purposely to meet my president. That was the reason why I came, to meet my president and to ask him a question. Honestly. So I was quite disappointed in the sense that the speeches were not arranged properly, because I felt that we could have, every speech should have been sectioned to the relevant minister to be answered. Like, for instance, if when you put all of us together, 6 questions, because I think our asked the most exciting question, because that was a very good question, and I think somebody else should have answered it. A minister that has been related to that should have answered that question in depth for us, because I felt that was a good question. Another good question of the night was from Mr. Sadie Lee, which I told him, I really did commend him at the end of the night that you did very well. That was a very huge question, and I wished somebody has answered that. But looking at overall at everything that happened whilst I was there, because I was really listening attentively to everything. I didn't want to miss anything. Although my battery ran out at a very critical moment when I couldn't get the president on. But I felt that, to me, this is me. I'm not accusing. I'm just saying what I observed.
Miriam, can I come in? Can I come in?
Yes.
I think, don't worry about what people think. Let's not worry about what people think right now, because
Yes,
if we say
exactly.
we analyze what happened yesterday, let's just put it on the table. Let's just give it that's how it is. I really admire Awa for her courage, for what she did. So just give it to everybody like that. Bring it on the table.
Thank you.
Analyze.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I felt that I noticed that it looks like the questions would have been handed over to Mr. Dabo. He already knew what he was going to be asked. That's how I felt, because he had a typed. I was sitting right like somewhere behind him, and I saw that all what he was saying was typed already. So to my knowledge, I thought I could simply work out that he knew what he was going to be asked. Although maybe I might be wrong, but that's what I thought. And he came up and answered all the questions well, according to what was asked. There are a few of them, I believe, he answered. And I found that a bit, I had a question to ask, and that question was not asked by anybody, you understand? But I was really hurt that happened, because I thought, to you, the organizing team, probably for next time, I think you could have simply chose people like from the audience to ask the relevant question to the relevant minister, and then it could be answered in a nice way like that. And
okay,
then
can I come in there?
Also, yeah.
All right, sorry, can I come in there? So do you think, or do you feel the fact that lawyer Dabo answer all the questions deprive you or limit you having that connection between you and your president?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Fatmata. I was disappointed, because I wanted to ask, my question was directly to the president. And when I saw that, I had one thing in my head. I don't know how dangerous that was, but I was going to break protocol and just get up and say, I have a question and I want the president to answer it. I was going to do that. Really, there was a point where I felt like I should just stand up and say, look, my question is direct to the president and I want to ask him this question, and just break protocol and go like that, because I really did not appreciate coming to that meeting. I wanted my president to answer my questions or anybody's question, and that wasn't done. I was really disappointed. That was my disappointment of the day. One disappointment of the day. And to be honest, that was nothing to do with the organizing team. It was to do with my president. Okay. Now, also.
Okay. Can I put a hold on you there, Marian?
Yeah.
Munala hold for no. Can I put a hold on you there, and then let me go to the next person, and then we'll come back to you. Let's give you a little break, and then hold on to whatever you have there, and then Majil can in. All right. Bakari. All right. I know you're Dangawane, Jotulo one of them. So I will come to you after Ibrahim Anyas, and then you take over. Ibrahim Anyas, you were there yesterday. So what happened? What is your take on all of these, Ibrahim Anyas?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Fatimata. Jerejef. di nuyu sa seetaankat yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom laa bokkal panel bi xam nga yéen a ngi ma dégg.
Yeah.
waaw ñi nga xam ne ñoom laa nekkal fii ci panel bi comme que Gambien si la ñu waxal dama tànn pour làkka boo xam ne foofu laa gën a confortable pour wax li ma bëgg a wax. Programme bi démb event bi number one organisation bi ni ñu ko organisé dégg-dégg loolu kenn amut lu mu ci wax. am na nag du ñàkk amut 100% perfection amut fenn ci loo mun di gis foog rek di nga am ay teexa along the way process bi mu starté ba démb fi ñu toll ñi ko doon saytu ñoom ñoo ko xam waaye li nekk on the ground li fa xewoon loolu rek laa mën a seede ndax
déglu yéen a ngi déglu dégg Ibrahima Niass dafa mel ni mu ngi break yéen a ngi dégg Ibrahima Marian.
No, no, déggatuma ko. He's not on here now. I can't hear you.
Okay.
No,
all right. ñu may Bakary mu dugg ba pare njox yow nga ñëwaat fii ba Ibrahima di egsi Bakary come in.
Good evening, Fatimata. Good evening.
Hello, dafa demoon yéen a ma dégg.
Ak suma oncle yi ak suñu sister yi tamit. Hello.
Hello. Fatimata.
Ok, dafa mel ni brother Ibrahima ñëwaat na.
waaw Ibrahima ñëwaat na so Ibrahima yow jàkkale fi nga dogee rek.
waaw quickly rek organisation yi dëgg def nañ wel xam naa amut 100% comme niñ ko buggee. waaye venue bi man su ma amee li ma lifin tuuti rek mooy place bi ñu ko defee xawoon naa mel ni lu tuuti although because dafa feesoon tepp ba am na ñoo xam ne dañ ñëw ñu aye leen ne duñ dugga ba ci biti foofu leen am na ñu fa nekkoon sax di xëccoo dinaa dugga doo dugga because li xewoon mooy ñoom nga place yi nga xam ne moom lañu alloqué toon dañ ci boole woon sa kaw a xaw ma VIP la xaw ma waaye nit ñi da nga gis ne nangu wuñ faa toog because dañ feel ne suñ fa demee they kind of isolated so loolu tax ñoom dañoo insist pour dugga si place bi te wax dëgg ne yàlla nit ñaa ngi toog nit ñaa ngi dal après président Barrow tamit ba mu ñëwee jóg nañ tatagal ko jàng woy national anthem bi ku nekk taxaw ba loolu pare Djibu Fall did a tremendous job to be honest ni mu doon modéré programme bi def na ko ci yar ak teggin da nga gis ne wax yes before mu start wax na ne kuy wax rek may nañ la 2 minutes waaye da nga gis ñoo xam ne dem nañ sa beyond 2 minutes ñu leen may waaye dafa am teggin ba nga xam ne du leen de tax stop wala nga wala bu la stop sax soo ko bàyyiwut xel doo xam ne kii mu ngay jéem a wax kii ne time bi jeex na man dama fi ne suñu la joxee ne la jox nañ la 2 minutes pour nga wax li nga bëgg a wax mën nga articulate sa bopp within the time frame boo xam ne moom lañ la appal su ko defee duñ am problème ak time waaye demoon nañ ci point boo xam ne amoon nañ problème time wax dëgg ne yàlla because gars yi lañ doon jël di guddal mbayam noor ok Djibu Fall dafa jóg ne ku am statement wala question mën nga koo laaj wala nga wax ko some people they choose pour make a statement instead of asking question so Awa Bah wax dëgg ne yàlla ñu ngi ko gërëm laaj na si suñ tur ñun ñëpp parce que question la boo xam ne ku nekk mun na war na koo laajte parce que it has been going on in the Gambia for quite a long time that illegal fishing activities suñ géej gi foofu leen te suñ teewee nag am opportunity pour laaj suñ président bi yu mel noonu yan jéego la ci jël yaakaar naa def na li ko war laaj na di relevant question ok di fàtt ne Adama Barrow nanguwuñ mu tontu question o moom moo bëggut a tontu honorable Ousainou Darboe ba mu jógee ba wax li ma wax straight away dafa jump si Awa Bah lim laajte pour man suma xalaat lay wax it was kind of a bit defensive to that question instead of like giving the required information wane na ne we have fisheries laws are there wax na daal yu mel noonu waaye laws yi ñu ngi fa waaye if they are not enforced du amati loolu moo tax question bi jóg because we know ne the laws are there waaye ñu enforce laws yi ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy def that illegal activity musuma dégg kuñ ci jàpp wala kuñ ci def dara te environment bi ni mu mel depuis jamono Jammeh la woon mun naa ne sax jamono Jawara sax yooyu yëpp mu ngi doon xew so question boobu Adama Barrow su ko ansutoon sax honorable Ousainou Darboe wax na ci waaye dama doon séntu pour mu wane bu fekkee loolu de mu ngi am dinañ ci def ay jéego lu nekk kenn mutut 100% perfection comme ni ma starté rek amut fenn ba pare waaye dëgg ñi nga xam ne ñoom jóg nañ laaj fa question ku mel ni Cheikhou Seydi li moom itamit laaj na question bu am solo flex daan everyone waaye programme bi daal si side of the organisation foofu moom man awma fa anything
loo ko mun a wax all right that was Ibrahima
dana wax rek beneen yoon rek suñ ko def rek ñu ut foo xam ne daal gën naa yaatu foofu pour Gambien si xëj fa parce que am na ñoo xam ne dëgg mënuñu woon a dugga and the entertainment part tamit
hello Ibrahima
Caama Jeng mi doon tega tama naam
waaw ñëwal waaw
ok mun naa ne comme Caama mi doon tega tama ooyuñ ko ne ko kaay nga tega tama moom moo ñëw comme que géwél la loolu mooy métier mu indi waale tamaam wala sanga ok about Jali and Ablaye Cham loolu moom dama ko dee waxee toujours laa ko bugg di ko waxee ñu ne mbonaat du dem bàyyi xottaye gannaaw ñun amuñ dara gannaaw suñ aada ak suñ culture ñu ngi fii bitim réew suñ njiiti réew mu ñëw ci réew mi ne dafa bëgg a gisee Gambien yi wane na tam ñu war a ñu display tuuti suñ culture te loolu passé wu sax 2 minutes wax dëgg ne yàlla entertain public bi ci li nga xam ne ñun si loolu lañ moom loolu man gisuma si lu aay dama seetaan 2012 bi Angleterre hosté Commonwealth bi opening ba si opening bi ku nekkutoon British citizen rek xamuloo lan lañ doon def liñ fa doon wane yëpp seen aada la ak seen cosaan soo réew bu nekk da nga am sa true colors nga am sa aada am sa cosaan am li nga xam ne moom nga moom su waxtu wane ko jotee wane ko loolu dara nekku ci comme géwél bu jógee di wéy mënuloo ko wax ne bul wéy lii bul wéy kii ñoom loolu lañ xam ñoom bala ñoo wax ne Fatoumata Kooka ku bon la dañoo tànne pour wax ne Njoog Malick ku baax la Fatoumata Kooka ne waaw comme que wax ne Njoog Malick ku baax la te man waxuñ ma ne ku baax la kon dat means ne man dama bon olof mu ne boo buggee xas mag ñi da ngaa tagg gune yi soo taggee kenn te ñun ñaar yëpp ñooy def benn liggéey bi tagguloo keneen ki si def mën na see gisee boppam géwél yi nag ñoom line boobu lañ choose pour dem fa so suñ leen joxee microphone ñu waxee noonu gisuma si lu aay ba pare jegaan tamit wax dëgg neexa James baaxum taalif na taalif boo xam ne musuma woon a foog ngeen sax nii la mel ci taalif macha allah te Ablaye Cham jàngal na taalif yi jàng bu rafet wax yi leer na wax yi jaar na yoon ci gàttal daal Fatoumata xam naa nit ñi dañ bëri waaye démb daal for the first time
dinaa ñëwaat
réew ñëw so it was good daal ci man
dinaa ñëwaat ci yow ci kanam Njoog wala Mr Bahum kenn si yéen su fekkee mën ngeen ma answer question bi mooy li ma bëggoon a laajte mooy were you guys in control of questions yi nga xam ne dañ ko doon war a jëmale ci président bi or were you guys foofu am ngeen fa control daal si fi question and answers yi amoon ngeen fa control bëggoon naa xam.
Jagan, you want to go first? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Jërëjëf ci question boobu noonu. Look, you can see ne Jibril Fall ki doon moderate bi mu fa taxawee dafa wax clearly ne who am question or statement to make. Lola laajte, it was open to the audience to make a statement or ask a question. So what kind of control could one have exerted, Fufu? That's
okay. Let me rephrase. Lu ma doon bëgg a laajte mooy foofu noonu ndax yéen bala ngeen a take this on because I know ne am na ñoo xam ne yéen a dikay suñu président bi dañoo seen dikka dañ dee am jël this opportunity pour laaj gars yi ne leen ne ndax suñu président bi su ñëwee nit ñi mun nañ koo laaj questions nit ñi answer.
No. What we did, what happened more, we knew that sorry.
Waaw mais ma jekkali rek so moo tax ma ne la ndax yéen amoon ngeen contrôle boobu pour laajte woon ne soo leen ñëwee ñun askan bi dañoo bëgg a laaj suñu président bi question ak ndax nañu ko mën a ansal xam nga bu boobaa dinañ leen doon mën a tontu ne leen ne président bi du answer questions ministre yi ñooy answer wala Darboe mooy answer wala kii wala kële mooy answer loolu moo tax ma laaj leen ndax amoon ngeen control of that na laajte woon ngeen loolu foofu laa miin come in.
No, Part of our time management bi dafa require pour ñu xam ñaata nit a bëgg a laajte question. And we had to consult certain individuals that we know are prominent members of leading organizations as well. Pour ñu laajte questions on behalf of their organization. Some are individual activists yoo xam ne they are positioned in the community and their work. Also require them to ask questions yoo xam ne dina represent perhaps a broad spectrum. We had to manage time. So all we required was how many people are willing to ask questions. No questions were taken before. No questions were presented to any of the panelists. The panelists, as you recall, the questions were taken in batches. Then there 2 or 3 questions here and there. Whilst we were doing that, these panelists were writing down some of the questions that were written, that were asked by people. So of course they know the questions, they know the answers because ñoom ñoo ko deliver. But there was no way anybody could have been denied the right to speak. Su fekkee ne bëggoon nga laajte questions. For instance, Sehu Sedili was not one of those who we called to ask questions. We actually called and asked, for instance, our bar, called her and asked, would you like to put a question to the president? That's all. And she said, of course, yes. And we bantered about it, if you ask her, Munshi panel. So apart from that, there were no control over the questions. The people,
my question
encouraged them to ask difficult questions.
So my question is still going back to ndax laajte waxoon ngeen beforehand waxoon ngeen ak ñi ngeen war a waxal pour laaj leen ne dañ am questions yu ñoo war a laaj suñu président bi su ñëwee foofu noonu si hall bi ndax waxoon nañ leen ne président bi du ko answer keneen a ko answer loolu laay laajte because ñun dañ bëgg a xam how it got to the point boo xam ne president bi could not answer the question and Ousainou Darboe had to answer the question loolu laa doon bëgg a laajte rek foofu laa doon laajte ndax
I think we were working on the serious time constraints. So by hell, the program was not delivered we didn't follow the normal programming. We had to revise it because of the shortage of time. Now, most of the guests arrived very late, perhaps an hour and a half later than we scheduled. So we had to revise the program. Would you allow as much or as many of the acts that were going to take place within the shorter period which I'm laying in. 10 o'clock lañ fa waroon a génn. Any longer than that, it would have cost. Okay. Why the president was expected to answer questions, and so were all the other ministers.
Yes.
Anybody go hamne, if you listen to Mr. Darboe, bimo wa mugewane, other questions will be answered by the relevant ministers or others who are in the delegation. It was the president who said that Mr. Darboe had answered sufficiently for everybody. Now, not everybody agrees with him, including myself. I don't agree with the fact that the president said, because there were other questions that Mr. Darboe left for the UN and other relevant ministers to answer.
Yes.
So that was something that could have perhaps been avoided. Why is the president? He's giving instructions to his cabinet that enough has been done in answering these questions. I and many people know that is not the case. But what can you do? You cannot really force the man to answer the questions under the circumstances. Why our plan was different from what transpired.
All right. Thank you very much. Lola Bugonaham. Yes, you wanted to say something?
Well, I think Jagan has answered that sufficiently. Certainly,
you're doing exactly what the president did. You're doing exactly what the president did. He's
no, I'm saying Jagan. Say that again. I didn't hear you. No, I am saying Jagan has really answered that question very well. I think there was no manipulation in terms of the questions, who has to ask the questions and all that. I think Jibril wanted to have as wide, sort of spectrum of questioners as possible. So he had to be at times randomly selected and calculating, just like Jagan said. They called our bar in person and sort of implored her to ask a question. So that shows there was some fairness. Obviously, some people would be disappointed, and rightly so, that their questions were not, they were not given the chance to ask questions. But let me just jump quickly to what our thought on the event in the end being couched as sort of a party politics or promoting one party. Certainly, I can speak for myself, and I'm sure for Jagan as well, and Jibril, that MSDG is non-partisan. Myself, really, I'm very independent. I am very apolitical. We were trying to get sort of an event that could be sort of merged as a celebration of sort and a discussion with the president, meeting of the president with the Gambian community in UK. So you have to find a balance. I would agree, perhaps the musicians, especially, well, we all knew, we all saw it anyway. I think Apply and Fatih, they were great artists. And personally, we have, well, in past myself, I've been giving them instructions that we were really trying to do away, because we had this chat, myself, Jagan and Fat, that we don't want any praise singing. And we were reminding these artists, because we knew sort of the danger of them to tarhis easily. I'm using a lot of words for them easily to just enjoy the occasion, that they will not be guarded. So we said to them and we repeated. That's why if you look at the first part of their performance, it was very poetic. It was poetry that was composed by Jagan, and we gave it to them and they interpreted it very nicely.
We love that.
The second part was when they were all meant to do two numbers. In the end, because of, again, like Jagan said, we were communicating through the process, all of us, via text messages. We thought we reduced this to one number each. You see? So when we said one number, and they knew, they were still being reminded that it has to be strictly very artistic. Obviously, like we all knew, I mean, praise singing is part of our tradition. You cannot wholly sort of eliminate it, but we never encouraged it. We told them we want it to be strongly professional. But then again, if an artist, especially in all respect, I'm not sure whether this is politically correct, let's say in quotes, a gewel artist holds a microphone, you know, the all of saying a gewel kuko feslo yapaloko, it's very difficult and you lose control. So you have to decide at what point would you start to either cut them off, and that starts to look rude. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe, perhaps, maybe, I think there's a point in people saying that maybe Apply and Kumba could have been, you know, not too long in terms of the praise singing. But again, like I say, we were trying to have a good balance. That's the point. It depends how one looks at it, really. But certainly, as organizers, we were reminding them daily, even on the night. I remember talking to Apply time and again before he had that microphone, that, you know, really you have to be very professional. But obviously I knew that they would do some, maybe you cannot control that. But
all right, let's help you here. Let's help you here. I think Apply was very excited. If you have the president of your country come to England for the first time since the Jawara time, obviously people get excited. Yes, I think the excitement got him going there. The other thing is, you as organizers, I think where you got it all wrong was, being saying things were late already. I think you had to go back to them and tell them strictly that, you know what, forget it, just stick to the point. They didn't even have to do even one song. They just had to stick to the poem because it was very late already. The poem, it was lovely. Everybody loved it. I love it. Everybody loved it. Way bi ak yoy nonu mënuñ ko génné ci suñ biir la nekk comme liko Ibrahima Niass waxé lolu and ak ñun la. Why this is like the president. People are expecting question and answers, and people lead by example. We already saw what went on in America, right? So you know how at time what they really wanted was question and answers. So obviously, if he comes to England, question and answers la nit ñi buga njok. We have Ablai, okay, he did what he did. It was beautiful. I'm not criticizing him, but at the end of the day, I think you as organizers should have made it clear. Look, if you don't stop, we will cut off the mic. If you say that to anybody, they will be afraid of humiliation. So bring them to that level. But I think that bring them the it took too long of the time to question and
Well,
answer.
yeah, can I cut in? As you can,
Yes,
if
you
you
can.
look at the program again, even apply in the end, we kind of cut him out because we have to bring the volume down. I was standing by the technician and I told him to, like fade him out a bit because he was continuing. So what you said could be a point, but again, like I say, it's rude. It depends how you do it. And at some point, people were enjoying this too, but it was for us to decide. But in the end, we have faded both of them out, both
Yo,
apply
you're a
and
businessman.
this.
Yo, Malik, you're a businessman. Business is business. There is no rudeness in business. This is our president that we're talking about.
No,
if the president came there and said, can I come in? If the president came there and said to you people, the protocol could have said to you people, look, the president is only going to give you guys 1 hour of his time, right? You are going to stick to that 1 hour of his time. So are you going to tell me, all right, continue to be no. Then they don't cut finger what I cut your. You have to, this guy, you as a businessman and someone who run this Yaram Act, wow,
but I am thinking you are still mixing two different things. I was wearing a different hat yesterday. Yes, no, I was wearing a different hat yesterday. I was part of organizing with MSDG. That's different. And like I said, this is an event. We converge two separate events. We try to bring like a celebration and a discussion. So we have to find a line, a sort of a balance. We try to have a balance. And again, like I say, there are difficulties in this. If you have an artist who has a microphone in front of everyone, and again, we can see there was excitement. The people enjoyed this. And like Jagan dilated, there were good questions were asked. Whether all the questions were answered, well, you make your judgment. The president said the foreign minister has answered everything.
All right, let's
I'm not the
Bakari. Okay, that's fine. Let's have Bakari to come in. I know that we're taking too much of your time, Job, but still allow me. Like, you pare ak yow. Balal ñu Bakari, come in.
Good evening. Di nuyu suñ panelists yëpp di la nuyu yow tamit F ak ñoo seetaan si Elite Media bi.
Moderator.
Moderator general. Tur boobu gis na ne dañ ko like waaye nañ ko dinañ make sure ne copyright nañ ko. To be quite honest, I'm very happy to be part of this panelist as Purman as a different perspective because Bokumon Sinuko organized and I was not in the event. So I was looking at it from a different angle. And Henyak issues you bari unity highlight, those are the same very issues man suma bopa tamit gis na ko si program bi. Why I think the program was well organized, so dañoo wax thank you to the organizers. Lu nekk lu am nak tamit there is some learning points. I believe that there is some learning points to take on for next year or next time. Yung fay wax two brothers yoo xam ne Njok ak Mr. Nyas ak Uncle Bahum. They're very prominent in the Gambian community. Si lu ñoo def in terms of Ziare, Gamo, Aingente, even the annual cultural weekend that we have in the UK. So dañ nekk ñaar ñoo xam ne they do a lot for the Gambian community. Man, to be quite honest, I posted on my Facebook wall, I think it was about 2 months ago, I'm not new Nekasi government, which I do follow and interact with them. And I knew Barrow was coming here. And people like me would have loved to have the opportunity to meet our president. Why I felt there was some holdback, then Bugunyo not say too much. There was an incident which happened, I think, 2 months ago, when Dabo, Justice Minister, and some other minister turned up in London. And then it was just cascaded on Facebook within hours. But those people that cascaded it, you could see they are within their close circle. At the end of the day, Adama Barrow, muy support a UDP, muy support a PDOIS, muy any other party. He is the Gambian president. He is all our president. So, the information should be out there. I'm not logistically, it's difficult for new league. Why I think it could have been out there a bit sooner or a bit more open. Paskiman, where the venue was and Sumali Kai, to be quite honest, it's 15 minutes walk. Okay. Had I knew it was there at least a day or 2 days before, I could have planned or worked something around it. Where I felt that somehow the information was set on. The other issue, Buma, it's not an issue, it's just a feedback. Ñun Gambian community bi fii dafa am fuñ dëkkee si London, dafa am fuñ dee dem, dafa am fuñ dee jëflante. I happens to work for an organization, big one, and venues like Mayfair, fuñ ko defee. To be quite honest, these are companies in Ghana, they turn over billions of pounds. Costing is not their issue. Why? You get mindful of places like Mayfair, then commune Gambian be or our Gambian government or we as a Gambian society, we all here in like things are not right and things are tight. I was not quite comfortable venue be my Mayfair area. It's one of the poshest area in London and it's one of the most expensive areas in London. I would have loved to see my president in Hackney. No disrespect to Hackney, it's where the Gambian community. I would have loved to see my president around in Peckham parce que fofu lañ def suñu yëfi. Why I believe ne somehow fuñ ko defee could have been a different venue be pare pour nu mëna cater a bit more number of gathering because am nañu jógee be Scotland man ñi nga xam ne I've spoke to them, they came there, they could not enter. So the venue was a issue. Coming into the actual event itself, like I said, we have to give our hats off to these guys. Parce que certain online to happen in America. There was not even questioning to get it. So man don't banter at some of my guys in America and then look, we always raise the bar, we always raise the expectation. So in Amulendara we organized it well. There were some questions asked. Unfortunately, some were not answers to our satisfaction, but something was done in London. So well done to the team.
Yeah.
My only biggest disappointment, I feel like I'm on the entourage be they were trying to control the narrative. Ñun dañu wara jox access to Adama Barrow. He's our president. And certain questions in terms of panel, to be quite honest and respectful to the panelists, come so large a question relevant to the foreign minister, I would expect the foreign minister to answer it.
To answer that,
if
yes.
If you ask a question that is directly to the president, the opportunity or the chance shouldn't be passed on to the foreign minister. I'm not questioning you, Barrow should have taken the bull on the hole and answer it. There are no questions for Usainu Dabo. No disrespect in the answer, but he was in the person who should answer those questions for Barrow because it feels like he is babysitting Barrow, and that's wrong. Because fishery, Usainu Dabo, Uncle Usainu, shouldn't answer anything to do with fishery because that's not his remit. The question that gentleman Flex Dan asked about the health thingy, it was directed to Barrow. Question bu sister our asked is in Gambian's press at everything. They so say at Gunjur Beach, there is a picture or a video, Chinese in for some percent flag. Nyun Chinese people new some percent flag, the only right they have is in their embassy. So there is an issue minga hamne munge happen in Gunjur. Adama Barrow is asked this question. I don't think Uncle Usainu Dabo was the person to answer that question. But I felt like brother Nyaswa. He was Uncle Usainu sometimes can be a bit defensive, which doesn't help him or which doesn't help Adama Barrow. When people ask, it's not confrontation. People are asking to get answers. Ñom ñoy suñ njiit mooy suñ foreign minister, Barrow mooy suñ president. We ñun Gambian lañ fa toogal. If we ask them question, we expect honest, accurate answers, not being defensive or thinking that the person who asks the question is anti-establishment or support to learn. Questions need answers. Sometimes answer yinga jox nit ki dina ko satisfy ba nga xam ne he would even earn you more respect. You know? Why? Just to cover up in that, man, I'm talking from an independent perspective because I was not there. But I felt like even we could have been cascaded a bit more out niti gen ko ham gen ko yek and participation bitamit warona again diversified. When it came to the question and answers, that was my biggest disappointment. Because question unity were a very important question. And I have to say thank you to
Can I come in? Yes, can I come in there? I think everybody was happy with Sadie's question because it's one of, to me, to be honest with you, it was one of the best. But they was our time. We don't like a question because my time demand she appeared. When I every day we take a question from our because I was in a meeting last night anyway. But Sadie, I think he did really well. And you couldn't want to and you move the support. But yesterday he hit it, and where he got it, I really loved it, and it changed. I'm sure it changed a lot on how people think of him because there he stood out there and said, "Look, I'm a Gambian citizen. and I'm going to give it to you, my president, as a Gambian citizen. I don't care which party that you are in or what. He, he was the man of the moment, to be honest with you, Mr. Sadili. Kudos to him. Anyway, going back, how I would say, how do you feel? Because Manakio, we were not there, we were watching. How do you feel for these people to allow so many questions being put in, and they did not take a break or a gap for each question to be answered according to how it was put in? So lolo la bugon nga wasi fere Miriam wasi, because Mr. Bahum tamit buganata mu wax tuti ci question and answers. Yeah.
Yeah, just quickly, man, coming back to Broda Sedeli, at the end of the day, we had this discussion before. Manila, we are Gambians. At the end of the day, Adama Barrow is president. We would like to see him do well. Ben Gambian, but I'm good intentions in Gambia to talk any Adama Barrow, we fail or you know. So we all wish him well, and we all want to see him do well. So sometimes we just have to put the Gambian heart and put the partisans aside, you put Gambia first, Come linga wasi panel, you know what's funny? I was involved with our company AGM yesterday, and it's a big institution. And sometimes in Gambia, I've said this, we are blessed with so many diverse talents, Why sometimes Hamalala then gise in diaspora be are somehow like a threat? Because we can share ideas, we can learn from each other. This AGM Buma involved on the way it was managed, things could have been much better, because they issues man, I've been involved in that program for a number of years, and I know how it was managed. Do muna lache Nick 4 to 5 questions, expect na dina answer all those questions at once. Then warona make time at most 2 questions. New bindako, then try new answer. Even sinko answer, sir, the way it should have been organized was they should have waited on to the person who asked the question. Have we answered your question? So boromam no, I still need an answer. Then you just boromam opportunity for more clarify question and they answer the question. But for Nane, that's where the letdown was. The organization was fantastic. The Gambians went out in numbers. I was very, very moved by the point from Uncle Bahum. But I think our leadership need to up their game and sometimes just treat us all as we are Gambians.
Exactly.
We're not, yeah. So
wow, thank you. I'll come back to you. Musa Kurubali just joined in. Musa, do you want to say 1 or 2 things before we move on to the next person? Musa Kurubali.
Oh yes, thank you, Fatimata, for having me, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just wanted to come in for 1 or 2 comments, to be honest, as I was at the occasion. And I'm glad that you accepted my request, Fatimata. Well, to begin with, I just want to say bravo to the organizers of the event. It was a successful one. It was well organized as GK partners in collaboration with the Gambia High Commission. The moderators were on point. Professor Jibril Fahal and Senabu Job, they did brilliantly. And few questions were asked. I said few questions because many people in the audience were with the thought that they would be given the chance to ask questions. Hence, because that's, in my opinion, that was the main reason why the president was scheduled to come and meet the people in the UK. It said the president meet the diaspora. So I will cite example from Halifax meeting. I know the viewers or few people might disagree with citing that as an example, but that was the event I went to, and that's the only one I can use as an example. When they said that event was meet the diaspora, it was purely that. Questions were asked, loads and questions were asked, and the person concerned, Khalifa, took his time and answered the questions. Now, for this one, I was a little bit like I said, disappointed. People were not given the chance to ask. I think, from what I've counted, I think 5 people were given the chance to ask questions. And those who asked were not responded, in my opinion. They were not responded to, in my opinion, because the president, well, respectfully asked his foreign minister, said his foreign minister responded to the question, and which I think he didn't. I think opportunity should have been given to people. I had a question to ask, and I did ask the moderators to give me the chance to ask questions. People who sat next to me wanted to ask questions. They were not given the chance. I think, to me, in my opinion, that on foog naa dañ war na may ku nekka. Well, no nekk ku nekka waaye at least nga, ñu may nañ ñeneen ñi for those 5 people you ask questions by name, they could have gone round the room and give other people chances to ask questions. To me, Dal, I think when it comes to that, Dal, with the quick Q&A, it was a flop. That's what I just wanted to say. Fatu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Musa. Thank you. Very happy with that. Well, Mayma, Ibrahima.
Dama ñëw tuuti rek man dem dama dem moo tax.
Waaw Mayma tuuti rek ma am fa ma daanal tuuti rek bala ma koy faate. Fi ma bëggoon a wax mooy I think it's high time that African leaders and presidents, leaders, or people that hold very important positions in our ministry or in our government should respect us, the citizens. The reason why I'm saying that right now is when President Barrow went to Chatham House, questions were coming from left, right, and center. And where was the other ministers? They were right there. He will not say to anyone, my ministers will answer, or can my ministers answer, or da. Just because it's us. So why should we be treated that way? Mandama feel if he's giving it to other people, we should equally have the same. When we have questions for our president should answer to our questions. Whether he know how to answer it or not, I think the best answer could have been, oh, I understand what you're saying, we will look into it. But to me, it's part of being ignorant. I'm very sorry, Mr. President. I think it's part of being ignorant that he did not even try to answer the questions. Standing there saying he feels Hussein Dabo has answered all the questions. To me, it's like that's what you wanted then. You didn't feel. Look, these people paid their fare. Some people live really far away to get there just to see you. Some are not even bothered about the questions. They just wanted to meet you as the president, being in the same room with you. So you owe it to them to answer the questions that they gave out. Why for to answer the question, and then you come there and confirm that all the questions were answered. You can say, well, adding to what Mr. Dabo said, blah, 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 because we want to hear from you. You are our president. So I think it's about time they start treating us citizens, because we are the reason why he is the president. They need to start treating us differently. Because whenever they feel they treat it sometimes, it's very unfair. Mr. Baum, can you come in? I think we've just lost Ibrahim Anyas again. So if you can come in, Mr. Baum, we're still on question and answers.
Fatmata. Most of the issues that have been raised by the other panelists are genuine, and therefore very little could be said about them. For instance, I think to be honest, we have to start from the premise now. We were working against time, and time was not very friendly to us. Given the program we were on, at doors open at 5 o'clock, and seating would have been completed by 5:30. We still had people coming there at 7 o'clock, trying to find seats in the middle of what we were then expecting to have in the program. So you don't delay that, Danaka. So Lolu must be a prime consideration before we understand another program. The actual program was already done. It had to be revised in consideration of the fact that we didn't have time. So it was not luxurious, really, putting you to the change program merely because we chose to. There were conditions and circumstances in Lolu. So you don't help were taking place in that context. Now, so we would have allowed for everybody in Bugo new like question, put new like the questions. Then perhaps we wouldn't have left there until 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
I agree with you.
So
I agree with you.
I also come to the other point, which is whether President was allowed to say that Mr. Dabo had answered all the questions. I said this earlier that I disagree with that. But can you go and tell the president, Neko, no, Mr. Dabo answered with question, so you have to answer the question. No. You organize event visa. There is so much we can do as far as the president is concerned. He's got his own team. He's got his own people who decide what he does, how he does it. And we are not able to influence that because they come with their own protocols. Even the security situation there, they had Scotland Yard people looking after the president. At any one point, they decide can they want to move at what stage and where. So we also had to take those under consideration. The event was held, and in my view, successfully, like most of you have echoed. But of course, there will be shortcomings here and there, given the fact that the numbers were big. For instance, I think it was Awaba who said at the end it was pretty much hijacked by the UDP. The fact, Moine, the UDP members were the most in that hall. They came there in their numbers because they wanted to see there. We don't see any other party leader or party supporters come in that number. No. So if they form the larger party, the larger number of people in that hall, they are able to make a bigger noise. And that is what happened, as simple as that. So you come on PDP, UDP, and others. Perhaps it would have been a slanging match. But, God, these people came to support their leaders. We cannot do anything about that. That's another matter.
Can I come in?
we want to strictly control the numbers. Yeah, go on.
Can I come in a little bit? What she said there is her opinion, and I think a lot of people even made comments of that as well. They feel that it was hijacked by the
you cannot stop people supporting or expressing their political sentiments if they are there.
Exactly. Mr. Bahum, people don't book a news. People don't book a news. Gambians, my advice to you is, right, to avoid feeling that UDP hijacked the thing, get to places on time. Don't you think the UDP got there on time? So the PPP people were standing outside or PDIS and things like that. Anyway,
well, that's a fact. Because
wow, President Barrow, UDP la nekon. So obviously UDP suñ xamé né buñ fa eggut on time pour duga fa PPP ak man suma maas yi ñëpp dañu ñëw duga ñoom tam dañ fa teel a eggadi pour ñu mëna position seen bopp because seen président dañu because ñoom PPP la UDP la jógee benn ñaareel bi coming back to people complaining ñu ngi toogoon si biti mënuñoo duga si come on, let's be realistic, Gambians. Let's be realistic. Let's start coming to places on time because the president gave 5 o'clock. I think this delay answer, we cannot even blame the organizers for all they did was the organizers were there on time. They have a program. Time be la start. Obviously, is another thing.
Fatoumata, ma dimbale la rek tuuti. Look, man dem na Banjul bu yagut ni, and I went to the Tough Networking Conference.
I saw you there.
In Gambia, 2 days in a row. And I couldn't gain entrance the first day. Because there are certain protocols you're gonna follow in these kinds of cases. If the president is present, if I'm you could you do them help. Not because you or the other. We have no control over this. For instance, the president be them a bit security. It is their responsibility to close the doors and access to these halls. If after that point anybody wants to come in, then the longer hard to you said. President this is nothing to do with us. That's normal protocol.
Yes.
And if you come at that period and you are told to wait outside on a toggle, it's because the security people want to do their job as well. We had people from Scotland Yard. We have personal, ADCs who could their personal bodyguards. And all these people have responsibilities to perform to the president. So people come and try and open, and it's closed. Others don't, they get angry. I am not saying there are cases where maybe one or two of the attendees were not, offended. I know one or two cases of such. But I'm saying, to a large extent, those matters were outside of our control. And the fact that the UDP people came down and were singing and happy to see their leaders or approaching them personally, maybe we could have been slightly stricter in saying, don't come to the auditorium downstairs. Stay upstairs in the pavilions and be seated until, but we didn't have crowd control mechanism in place because that was not the expectation.
Can I just come in? Let Njok come in.
Okay, well, can I come in and conclude? Is that okay, Farmata, please?
Yeah, because I have to go as well, Farmata. Sorry.
Yeah, because unless Awa wants to ask something that we can address before we leave, we can let Awa say something first then.
Okay. Now, what I wanted to clarify is when I say that it was hijacked by the UDP, that's not about the number of UDP people who came. It was open to all Gambians, and actually, it's up to us to actually take up the opportunity, which is quite a unique opportunity to engage our leadership. What I meant was that the president's speech and Dabo's speech made a lot of reference to the UDP. And this is not a UDP government, it is a coalition government. And it was placed as if the achievements of the government is a UDP achievement. And I think that was selling the party, the UDP party, to people who were at the event and people who are watching the event. And I thought that was unfair. And again, sort of just allowing the foreign minister, Lawyer Dabo, making lots of reference, but also being the only minister who spoke. I think that was a missed opportunity. I said Ture was there, quite a strong Gambian woman that a lot of us respect.
Ahmad Ba was there.
To hear from. Ahmad Ba was there. The Justice Minister was there, and there were questions for him about the April 2011 victims, as well as justice for the JAM victims. And he wasn't given the opportunity to speak. I think in so many ways, to me, it points to the fact that somehow, Lawyer Dabo has taken over the government and he's the one running the government. That's no criticism of the organizers, because ultimately you've got no control over that.
Yes.
But I think the criticism for the organizers was when time was quite limited, the sort of praising, and I think should have been completely cut out. I know that point has been made already. The opening poem was just absolutely amazing. And the entertainment by the kora player beforehand. But once the session was on, that time where the singing was going on should have been used to open the floor up to people, because people came there wanting to engage their leadership. There were a lot more questions that people had about health. We had recently doctors in the Gambia going on strike for over a month, and the president has never addressed that.
Yes.
People wanted to ask questions around that. We've had, a lot of claims about Barrow not being independent, and to me, his behavior yesterday and the behavior of Dabo goes to sort of confirm that. We've had a lot of things going on that people wanted to engage the leadership about, and we were not given. I felt lucky to be given the opportunity, but I think a lot more people would have really appreciated, and that's why they came. We didn't come there to hear Barrow being praised. And for me, his reaction to when he was being praised, you could see he's actually, basking in that glory. And when serious questions were asked, you could see the frown on his face. To me, that these are worrying the little signatures, and that's completely outside of the organizer's hand. I think we Gambians should take some responsibility, because actually, like you said, a lot of people came very late, and also the delegation came very late. So we were started by 5, thinking it's going to start at 5, latest 5:30, but by 6:40, I think it started around 6:40. That's an hour and 40 minutes of a wasted opportunity that could have been made better use of. So I just wanted to clarify those points.
Do you agree with me, Awa, when I said I think it's about time that we at least the citizens are taken seriously? Because Barrow cannot go, the entourage or his delegation cannot go to an event that is organized by non-Gambians late, one, right? And they cannot be asked questions there, and they refuse to answer the question. The president refused to answer the question, or I'm not saying he refused, but it looks like that at the end of the day. And it looks like it was prepared. To me, the way I see it is like they prepared this. It's like, okay, we're going there. All the questions, when asked, Barrow's not going to answer the question. Lawyer Hussein Dabo is going to answer the question, or another minister is going to answer the question. I think this was prepared before they got there, because I cannot see any reason why. Because if I was the president, if that happened, I would have still come out there and say, you know what? Yes, I'm very happy that Hussein Dabo answered most of the questions, and yes, this is what I want to add on to this lady's question. This is what I want to add on to that and that and that. That way, we will feel he is not avoiding the questions, because this has been saying with him for a very long time.
I totally agree with you that I think we were completely shortchanged. We're completely taken for granted by our leadership, and that's very upsetting. And thinking about that in line with the videos we've seen recently of the president claiming that it took him 3 months to get rid of the dictatorship, it just paints a very worrying picture. I think it's completely unfair for Barrow to not respond to those questions. I think he's abdicating his responsibility to Gambians, delegating that duty to respond to questions to Dabo. How that came about, I don't know, but ultimately he owed it to us to provide answers. A lot of those questions were directed to him, and I think he ought to have responded to us. Like you said, if that was an international media, he would not have done that. So it is unfair to us, and it's not right.
Thank you.
Fatmata, can I just come in? Can I come in for 1 minute before I forgot that point?
Yes, and if you and Marianne have any questions for Jog and Mr. Bahum, because I knew from the beginning that they told me that they would not be staying that long, but they even exceeded their time. And to be honest with you, for whatever took place there, this is not onto you as an organizers, Jog and Jegan. No, this is just an analysis, right? Yen sen par foog naa ne def ngeen ko ba mut te comme ni ma wax ci beginning, like I said from the beginning, kudos to you guys, because I think for the first time, to be honest with you, you guys did better than we all expected anyway. You did, because before even things kicked off, I think I wrote on my timeline that I knew if England hosts our president, it will be a hit, because from what I saw from the beginning, boy, I loved it. And to pick on the question and answer, Barrow did answer the question. I don't think we'll be sitting here going deep into this. It would have been a 10 or 20 minutes analysis like Marian wanted to do, and then we will be out of here. Yes. So if you have a question, Marian and Babakar, please hit it now to Njok and Jegan, because they have to leave. Thank you.
No, I think it's time we excuse the two lovely gentlemen, and we can continue. They've given us enough of their time, and for me personally, I just want to tell them, well done for a fantastic job they did. I believe they have been undermined without them noticing, because there was some kind of like a hidden agenda by the delegate there, but it was not for them to see. But the overall organization was fantastic, and we appreciate them coming up here, sharing their time. So thank you, gentlemen.
No, it's okay. Wait, I think Marian, we'll find out from Marian if she wants to ask them the question. Marian, do you want to ask? Is there any question from York and Mr.?
Thank you, Fatmata. I don't have a question to ask at the moment. I just want to clarify that. I could see in Jog and Jagan were trying to express about the speeches. My point I was making about the speeches is nothing to do with the organizing team.
No, it's
Nothing
not.
to do with the organizing team. I was just expressing part of the things that I saw there that, happened. That was my expression. I wasn't criticizing them towards the speeches. No. I know that that was out of control. That was not anything to do with them. I was just expressing the fact that I felt the 6 questions or 5 questions that were asked had already got an answer from Mr. Dabo, or was it just something that it was like a very deep coincidence to me. That is why I said that. But for me, the organizing was brilliant. To be honest, like I said, it was fantastic. And I have nothing to say to them but to say thank you very much, because I had an opportunity to be there. As I said, I have never been in something like that, and I was grateful to be there, and I think it was very well organized. And Bakari, what I will say to you about the venue, I think the venue was fantastic. Do not criticize the venue. The venue was fantastic, and I think they did a great job to take us somewhere like that. Because we're used to going up somewhere where we cramped up, and I really love the venue, really. I really love the venue. So I think they had the venue too right. So my commendations to you, and I hope you guys will have time to organize, or you'll be given the opportunity to organize something like this, because I still have my question and it's not been asked, and I want to ask the president.
Okay, Mr. Bahu?
Thank you very much, everybody. This is a very important panel. For your very astute observations about what transpired yesterday. Where people can be openly critical or to critique a process, not necessarily be critical of it. But man, boma waxul fuma muna improve. Deng ma wara jox cax bu metti ma mun ko firi pour ma muna xam naka la ko faje. So what you have done is good, positive, constructive feedback to us who managed this process yesterday with very great difficulty. We take no offenses at all. In fact, this for us is a learning process.
Yes.
It's a journey through which we engage with the public. For them, 1, to understand Linyo Jema Def, 2, to bring them along and to help in the search for solutions. That is the core of the MSDG process. It is a public engagement of the Gambian diaspora with its leadership.
You're breaking, Mr. Bahu.
Yeah. Is it coming? Am I coming?
Okay.
Yes. So, façon engagement bobu lañ doon jéem a create démba pour ici nit ñi pour ñu toog ak seen njiit yi pour waxtaan. So the core of that program yesterday would have been the question and answer session. Unfortunately, it didn't come out as best we wanted, but we will take your recommendations on the advisement. Dinañ ko factor into how we plan future programs. Be pare di wax ne continuer leen rek di ngeen di def. 1, in terms of identifying shortfalls, yoo xam ne always mun nañoo nekk challenges, but we can come together and find solutions. So these important bits that you have given us is good feedback for future progress. Mo wax tamit ne mbootaay bi nga xam ne dama bëgg a daane rek Fatoumata boo ma bale.
Wow.
Because I have to go very quickly. Program Demba bi was part of a long process of social engagement, community engagement by MSDG. Ñi nga xam ne ñooy consultant bi mooy GK Partners di Professor Fall ak colleague am Catherine Ford were both there, and they helped to facilitate this in collaboration with the Gambia High Commission and other elders of the community. Pour ñu isi ñëpp together pour ñu mun a toog waxtaan ak mbootaay nguur gi jógee Banjul ñëw fii di headed by the president. So that was the key issue, the key objective. Now, the other parts of the program, yi nga gis noonu Demba, suñ cosaan la te normally soo nekkee ci beneen dëkk you want to showcase your culture. There were a lot of people perhaps who ordinarily would have come te mënuñoo ñëw for various reasons ñoo xam ne dinañ doon yokka rek ci ñi nga xam ne ñooy woon gan yiñ invite on démba jógee ko ci mbootaay yu bari waaye tamit ci yeneen réew yu bari ñëw foofu. So many things that we have done we can improve on with this advice and recommendations that you are providing. We are hoping that even though it is sad that most questions were not answered and we have dilated, that you can still engage your president in so many different ways.
Great.
Ne mun nga ko yónnee email, mun nga ko yónnee email, mun nga to, of course, through different, close officials of his office.
Okay, Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Wow, dafa mel ni Mr. Bahum foofu lost reception am bi dafa dem.
Query who is the information passing there in the State House. You can use social media to send out recommendations, submissions, as we are doing. These things that are being watched by many people. So this event and give us some feedback so how you help in future endeavors and programs. So maa ngi leen di gërëm ci wàlla boobu bu baax a baax di la gërëm Fatmata yow ci sa boppam for giving me the opportunity to come here and speak. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bahum. But before you go, I must ask you one last question. We are hoping that you'll be hosting this again because ñu ni ngeen ko organiser neex nañu torop te ñu xam nañ ne bu ngeen gënee dooleel or boo leen ko jëlatee you would improve, you would do better. In terms of improvement, fan ngeen feel yow because as a human being, I'm sure that there is one or two parts that you feel like, okay, we have failed there. Fan ngeen feel like ngeen feel at fan ngeen want to improve next time you come on board to host the president again?
I think it's about the management of the venue on this. I had a difficult situation where I had to ask a high-ranking government official to leave her seat because it was not reserved for her, but she refused. Whenever but things like that, those difficult situations where you really have to make difficult choices. How do you send people back who are clamoring to meet their party leader for whom they have great affection? Understand? It's hard. These are sentimental issues that come to complicate logistical problems. Lolo lerek. Why by the time we go next time, and time management is important. So you only have five, because everything works according. You find yourself paying a very high percentage of the original cost, and that might be a problem. The venue, I think, was ideal as far as I am concerned. Most people appreciated it. They thought it was fanciful, yes, of course, but it was still, it was still adequate for yesterday's event. But if bigger numbers, we had registered some 400 and nearly 500 registration on the Eventbrite. And if those numbers came, coupled with those, have they registered in one, but just came in their numbers, we're going to have problems with managing that kind of crowd. There were two people standing on the staircase, the bottom of the staircase. Kunekangi ame list of names. Ni register would. So managing that was a bit. So maybe we need to do a little more improvement on that side as well. Why didn't you very well?
Thank you so much.
But also let me just use this opportunity to direct the attention of your viewers that the MSDG project, which is the Migration and Sustainable Development Project in the Gambia, is a collaboration between well-meaning Gambian diaspora and Gambians and the government on the ground, using the expertise of a Gambian-born professor, Jibril Fall, who has been used by so many other countries to support their development planning as regards remittances and others. to come and bring that same expertise to help our own people on the ground in Gambia. And we work with him because he's a result-oriented person. Most of the programs and the elements, which is a collaboration, like I said, between the Gambian diaspora and the government of the Gambia on the ground. Most of the information you can reach on www.diasporagambia.net, which is the website, but also on Facebook, Migration and Sustainable Development in the Gambia. Information about how they can participate, but also there is a questionnaire online which you can answer with your own ideas and information about how to improve the project. It's a 10-year project, fully funded, and it's going to be able to transform some aspects of our economy in order to benefit the migrants, but also diasporans. So in a nutshell, that is.
Can we have you back maybe another time, and then you go deep on that, because we want to know more about it, if you don't mind. It sounds very interesting, and we want to. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So thank you very much, fellow panelists. Thank you, Fatimata.
Thanks
for having me.
And have a good evening. Mr. Malik, come back in, and you tamit wax ñu bala ngay dem am na loo bëggoon a wax.
Well, I think James has really concluded very well, and all of what he said, I would just want to associate myself to. I would just add, I think, before obviously leaving this panel, Bakari, I think it's Bakari who mentioned the venue, and Marianne said she loves it. So there's always different opinions on certain things. But if I may just kind of confirm to Bakari and everyone listening that this venue, we had, like I said, canceled many other venues because it was very late coming before we can finalize on what date we were having this meeting. So this one, we had less time indeed after Easter, basically, that we had to find another new venue. So it was almost by chance and luck that we found this venue. That's one. The venue is in a good, very, very good location, and I can assure you that it hasn't cost the Gambian taxpayer a dime. This was fully funded from other sources. It hasn't cost the Gambian taxpayer a dime. So I can tell you that. So basically that. In terms of people who came as well with sort of the problems, again, timing is really important. There is no person, as far as I'm aware, that came to the event that wasn't allowed to enter. We had a spillover room. Certainly, at a certain point, we had to close the main door to the main auditorium. I understand one or two issues about someone who has legit complaint in terms of someone being let in and not him, which is a different issue. But in terms of anyone not allowed to attend the meeting, because like I said, we had a spillover room. When we denied entry to the main auditorium, we directed people to go to that spillover room that was still open. So to my knowledge, I don't know of anyone who came to the meeting, whether you come from Hackney or from Scotland or from Europe, that wasn't allowed to enter. I don't know of anyone, because I know there was still space in the spillover room. So I just wanted to add these two things. And again, I thank everyone. I'm sure we will take heed of most of the raised points, especially the allocation of the questions, allocation of time for questioning and the entertainment. We were trying to merge two sort of different concepts. But, we always learn. The praise singers, I want to agree with the people who thought it was bordering on the too much. I want to personally. Again, we addressed that. We have spoken to these artists before they were on stage. We told them strictly what their brief was. But again, at some point, you lose control. So that's the best I can somewhat kind of,
Overall, I think you guys have done really well. Like we said from the beginning, kudos to all of you. I think I don't know how many of you were in it together, but we want you to give it a tap on the back for all of them from us, because foog naa ne yéen ñëpp def ngeen li ngeen mën a def jël ngeen ko yóbbu ngeen ko ci level bi ngeen ko war a yóbbu li ngeen war a improve there is always room for improvement, And I think if you guys improve on what we are saying now and what other people are saying, well, it will be 100%. 100% is not good. But still, York, like I said to you before we came on air, I'm really pissed off. I'm really angry with you. The fact that you did not send me an air ticket and you did not give me a personal invitation to come to the UK and be part of this. But you're so lucky I had Marian Johnson there and Ibrahim Anyas, who did a very good job. But dinañ la baalal nga dem fi mu nekk nii because 15 minutes nga ma waxoon sax but you stayed longer than that. And everybody knows how hard it is to get New York to come to social media and talk. And well, it's a good start. And I want you to do more of it because you're into showbiz and we want to hear you more and more and more. How more ne sax mun nga wax Ndiok, so your teacher is teaching you well. Emma Jata, thank you very much. You are teaching my boy very well. Wow, Ndiok, jërëjëf.
Okay, thank you, Farmata. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and thanks to all the panelists. Thank you. Till next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. All right, you my two people, let's hit it hard. Now you know this. Let's go on because I know we have a lot more. We can have another 30 minutes that we can really hit hard on what we really have to criticize on. There was a lot to criticize on, man. That's what I think. I think we were in the same boat, me and you, Bakari, because we were watching from the live. Unfortunately, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I watched all of it throughout. I did not because I was in a meeting yesterday. Like today, we even went to a conference. So, mënuma woon a lifin yëpp te tey amoon de bisa pour seet yëpp waaye kon lu ma jot a seetaan ak li ma jot a gis ak li ma jot a read we can say a lot. And bala maa dem to sorry dama feel ne xaw ma nag xëy na ci président let's talk about the speech first before we dem to sorry. What do you think about the president's speech?
If I can comment?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Just as Brother and Joke have said it, ñoom ñëpp tàng nañ leen before ñoo dem. Actually, gis nga this kind of conversations or discussions are very healthy. Parce que man, my issue with the venue was it's a fantastic venue. I've been there, but I know it's an expensive venue. So no one is really satisfying me because how much on because I thought that this was taxpayers funded or something like that. And I was like, okay, if things are really tight financially with our outgoings with the government, then there could have been a better place to choose. But he gladly clarified that. And Puruman, that was the main issue I had because to make like, hamga, dara bahut ker, then dañoo mëna wara moytu naka lañoo dépenser or par façon dépense lañoo joye. Just before my father, like, you touched on a very important point earlier on. And I share that same conviction like you. Barrow went to Chatham House, and I 100% guarantee you he went there on time. Barrow had an interview with Hard Talk BBC, and I can 100% assure you he's gone there on time. So, man, personally, I think there is areas our leadership needs to start giving due where due is due. Ñun ñoy Gambians, ñun are the people who put them in power. We are the one paying tax to pay their salaries. The incident around Chatham House, I think Barrow was asked about 10, 15 questions from other people, not just Gambians, and he answered them all. Why? What transpired there lead to what happened to this hall? Parce que xam nga lu nekk ñu ne am na lu koy yëngal moo ko dee ëppa doole. Barrow team, and we've discussed this before. Tony Blair, at Chatham House, Tony Blair advised him this. He needs to surround himself with a good team. And I think Barrow needs to look at himself and look at the team around him. It's not a criticism. We want Barrow to do well. Exactly. 2 million of Gambians. Okay, man, as an ordinary Gambian living in UK, I know this succession issue. It's well up in our media, mainstream media in the UK. So, ñu ngi amee Gambian embassy fee. We had what is called an advanced team from the Foreign Office prior to this Commonwealth. Those little research could protect Barrow, could safeguard our Gambian integrity. Parce question, but when he was asked it and the way he tackled that question, even Tony Blair was holding his mouth. He just could not. Man, I'm not the president, If I was asked what that question is, Genoma Janga Barrow, maybe I'm more even stupid than Barrow. But I was already aware of what that meant. So suñ demee lu am lu mel ni président ñu am lu mel ni embassy fii ñu am lu mel ni foreign office, these are kind of thing li nga xam ne a little homework, a little research could save faces. Dina save face Barrow, dina save face Gambian. Why? Because of he got that question so wrong. I think that's where this protectionism come in. Sometimes Uncle Usenu needs to just step back, realize he is the foreign minister, Barrow is our president. And
I couldn't see him stepping back. Sorry, Bakari. I couldn't see him stepping back if the president doesn't tell him to step back. The president have to stand up and say, you know what, look, this is, so like I said earlier, I think this is a planned thing. It was pre-planned. Okay, if we go there, this is how it's going to roll. You understand? So it is time that you start to feel like, you know what, you're the president of the Gambia. We want to talk to you. We know the intelligence of Dabo, because we have seen him talk so many platforms and stuff like that. So we know he can talk. We know he can answer questions. We know what he can do. We know to what extent he can go to and what level, right? But what we need is our own president to be there for us, to talk to us. Talking is nothing. Yes, you know, when he want to jump to everything everyone have to say on Facebook or every criticism, but there are times that he needs to come out and talk to us, because we are the one who voted you in. We are the one who wanted you to come there. We are the one who wanted you to take over. So it is very obvious, you are answerable to us. We don't count. No way. This is not acceptable. And as much as I love this president, one second. As much as I love him, I think, like I said this in so many videos, maybe I don't say it in a harsh way or things like that. I think he needs to step it up, and I think he needs to surround himself with the right people. And I really, 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 really think he needs to do a reshuffle, because if he doesn't do that, I cannot see him staying there after the 3 years or 5 years. I don't know which one is which, because the Gambians will not vote for you to stay there. We will vote for the right person. And at the moment in time, yes. And I strongly believe, you know, let me tell you something. I strongly believe there is a lot of development. Man believe now, no. But all it takes is for him or the information minister to come out and talk to people. Like having been there, to Muhammad diaspora, we make so much noise. That noise should not be empty noise. We make noise that makes sense. So Mom, standing there or coming there, I think addressing the Gambians there as the diaspora, dafa waroon a boole ci waxam xaw ma ci lu mu wax bu baax de waaye waroon na moo boole ci waxam leena ne. You know what? I know all of you are worried about the way things are going. I know you guys are thinking that I am not out there, I am not talking too much, But to be honest with you, I am running around trying to, for the development of the Gambia. So we've achieved so far, we've achieved this, we have done this, we have done that. But to me, whenever I hear our president speak nowadays, I feel like he is there to defend himself all the time. Like when he was talking to Tony Blair or when he was talking to other people, he was there talking about, oh, my people wanted to, will not talk to me now, my people this and that, my people that. I think that is wrong as a president. What you need to address here is, you are in here, you are in the Western Wall. Right now, you need these people to be on your books. You need them, you need to be in their good books. Now, look, one important area that you could have talked about is this mayoral election that's coming up. How bad the capital city is. How desperate we are to get help from the Western Wall. But coming there, telling the Western Wall, my own people will not even talk to me because I sat as a president, my own people this and that, I think that's way out of order. I know you want to say something back, but can we let Marian come in and then say something before it's going to be, because Marian,
Thank you, Fatmata. I was waiting patiently and listening. For me, I was sitting down here trying to see how I am going to rephrase my words, because like I said at the beginning, I am disappointed. I am so disappointed. I just have to express that. Probably it's boring now, but I am disappointed because Barrow, like you said, the example you gave, like he went to Chatham House, he spoke, he did not answer the question correctly. Fine. Practice number 1. Practice 2 should have been this one. And I felt that, okay, although Jog and Mr. Bahum have left, because I wanted to bring a point to them that next time one of my points that they could take into consideration was everybody's going on about round how it was late, it was running out of time, it was this, it was that. I could appreciate that, really, yes, being there. But I saw what happened, actually. I was there live. And like I said, I brought out a point that I saw the man was reading. You understand? And Bakari and Fatmata, please tell me, if you did not know what question was coming to you, how would you know how to answer them in such a manner? That is my logic.
Yes. But then again, we could be wrong because you know why? How would he know what question Marian was going to ask? He would know.
For instance, you know why I said that? Because it was already typed what he had in his hand that he was talking. What he was talking about. All the answers. It was typed. Could it have been typed whilst the questions were asked? No.
All right. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Well, yes, because the question came in. You see, Marian, I really agree with you now because this is the danger. This is the danger of setting 10 questions coming in. That's you taking your time then to prepare answers then. Yes, it could happen.
Exactly my point now.
Yes, it could happen. Yes, I see your point.
Exactly my point. Like I said to you, I am not a party liner. I am not a party liner, definitely. I am an independent thinker. And I went there wholly and solely. I was listening. I wasn't just clapping, or I wasn't just cheering up just like that. I was listening to every detail. I was taking note of every detail. You understand? So that was my point in the beginning, for you to see this is what I noticed. So that's why, like, I know it was said that, okay, they were said anybody could ask a question. No, I did not understand that bit, because if we could go back to the tapes or recordings, you could see that it was said, we will invite people to make a comment and ask a question. And in that sense, these people were called out by their names. Do you understand me? So if you did not put your name down, how did they know that you wanted to ask a question then?
Okay.
That's point number 2. Okay. And then again, what I'm saying is, I was sitting there, I was watching everything. If we are talking around time, you see, now I want to tackle these issues because I've listened to everyone. We are walking it all about it was time. Yes, it's true, the Gambians, we are always late, that's fine. But don't we think that the time that Mr. Honorable Dabo took to answer those questions, to answer it all like that, couldn't it have been done by Barrow? I think the time management could have done that. If the president is here, Mr. Jibufal opened the floor amazingly, ecstatically. Yes. We should have invited the president to speak instead of Mr. Usainu Dabo. That is cutting time, managing time. Instead of Usainu Dabo speaking, why that time? He took an hour or so to answer all the questions. The president could have done it himself. That is what I am pinpointing. I withdrew my question. I did not bother because, like I said, I was going to, you know, go against protocol and just stand up and raise my hand and said, look, I am a Gambian, I'm here, and I want to ask the president a question. But I said,
I think, you know what? I think it's about time that someone do something as crazy as that. If I knew you wanted to do something like that, I would have, send you a message and say, Marian, go in, do it. Because that way, at least the president will know that, you know what, we want to ask you a question and we want you to answer to those questions. Yes, maybe they will not answer to you, but at least I'm not going some president will have a question and I want him to answer my question. Because everybody is going on about the April 10 and 11. This is a question that people really wanted to have answers on.
So, like I said, Fatmata, to cut time that we were expressing about time management there, the president should have spoken first. Because the ambassador, our high commission here, ambassador, he spoke.
Yes, and going back to since we're analyzing all of these things, Jibril Fall, he did an amazing job. I don't know that guy, but I fall in love with that guy straight up. You know what? The charisma, the jokes that he just made it lively for everybody.
I think Jibu has set a trend to this meeting, and so has the others. But in his own way, because he was in the front line, I think that they should, the entire team, the entire government that came should look up to Jibu, how he represented himself. Definitely. Because I was standing there the whole night. I was happier with Jibu and the organizing team than the entourage from the Gambia. I'm sorry to say. This is my opinion. I know I could get executed for this, but I'm just saying this is my opinion. And the second point I had to say was, I am honestly, I want to speak about this praise thing. My criticism towards that is, definitely, if you look at it, entertainment-wise, okay, it's good for them to put it in. The part that I really don't agree with is, really, this is my observation as well there, Fatmata and Bakari. Whilst I was sitting there, I was thinking, okay, probably they did put it in a poetic manner, but I do not like the part where people were allowed to come round and give money.
Oh, that happened there?
Yes.
I did not appreciate the part where people were coming and giving out money. You see, that part I did not like. I don't think should have been encouraged. One. Two, at the same time, the two things happened within that period of time. Like you could see, I would just explain saying that when you sing praise the president, he really, you could see the happiness in him. To be honest, you could see the happiness and we have issues that we want to ask about, and he wasn't talking about. Because at one point, I thought he was going to come up and give money because of the excitement on his face. You see, you could see the excitement on his face. And then again, through that, then it came to when he had to address the nation. I'm still giving a feedback as a Gambian citizen. This is what I saw, and I don't think we should work at it. Like we said, let's all put our heads together. When he was speaking, his speech was good, but the message on the speech should be really, really, people should listen to it carefully. Because he said, he came, it's like, the understanding, okay, let's say the understanding of the whole thing is, he really believes that he had saved us, Gambians. He is a hero. Instead of him believing that he is a leader, he believes he's a hero. Because he said nobody will do the job. When he applied, when they set out to apply for a presidential candidate, only 3 persons applied. But now, if we were to send out, like an advertisement for the presidential candidacy, millions will turn up. So you see the difference between that.
Can I just come in there and just because
yes.
if we digest things properly, maybe sometimes when we hear things we translate it differently. I mean, I am not the one that would defend him if I don't have to. I think what he was saying there, it was in the UDP line when they were trying to select a UDP leader that would represent the UDP party when it comes to the presidential election. I don't think he was trying to say as a candidate to be the presidential, because I think the UDP party at that time, because of Honorable Dabo was in prison, they didn't have a party leader, and they had to go through convention to select a flag bearer for their party before they went to the coalition nomination. I think that's what he was trying to say there. Sorry, if you want to...
Zachary, remember, he was part of a coalition team.
Go on. Yeah.
He was part of a coalition team. What I'm saying to you is the expression I saw whilst I was in there. Because I was looking at the body language as much as what was being said. So I'm saying to you, and then I'm just still coming to the praise singing, because when Mr. Cham was singing about this, sing praising him, Mr. Cham did say, yo ya ñu génne si lii si coono bi Gambia nekkoon with the expression of what the man said. So I am trying to say to you, I think there's a misconcept there, because if he really appreciated that he did it, the Gambian people put him there, then he will try taking us serious from that level. I think we are the ones making the president.
So I don't know
Because
if you guys,
I
don't know if you guys can read the comments. It has just come to my attention that he gave money to one of the Gurians, one of them informed me, this is by Awaba, he said the president did give some money to one of them to a third party.
You see?
I like Kukunyata up.
Okay. You see, that's why I said to you. That's why I said to you, I wasn't there. I wasn't clapping or cheering up, not for any reason, but because I was watching attentively to every single thing. Like I said, unfortunately, my battery finished at the wrong moment, but I was watching because I had to store in my head. My head had to be a computer that night so that I could store things. So then that's what I'm saying to you. You could see the difference, because I think I have been doing psychology for a while, and I can tell that he likes the praise. He is more concerned with the praise than the questions.
Miriam, hey, bofi nekkoon géwél di ma woy lu tax duma ko bëgg a Miriam woy ba nga seet woyal sa waay maam mais woyal
géwél bit. Okay, géwél bit bi let me naa wax loolu sax si olof. Gis nga géwél bit bi, to be honest, géwél yi mënuñ leen a aaye pour ñu ñëw si lii xam nga lu tax, because ñu ne géwél mooy dem ba xare géwél dina fekkee xare waaye bal du ko ca jëlee. Dégg nga loolu tamit.
waaye déglu déglu ma tagala ñu seet naka ngay def ndax doo smile ma ne Marianne Johnson waay yow kenn du dem bala Marianne Johnson maa xam sa day maa xam sa baay.
Can you stop there? I've got a job to do. I've got business. Like you said, business is business. No.
Yaay doomi Mr. Johnson. Yaay doomi Mr. Johnson. Yaay doomi Mrs. Johnson. maa xam sa day xam sa baay.
I am on a serious mission. Why gis nga géwél yi comme niñ ko waxee rek Ablaye Tam, he did a great job xam nga waaye li ma try pour wax rek tam one other thing that we should raise is dañ war a bàyyi suñ ñëwee si biir communities like this in England ñuy nekk di wax in Wolof and Mandinka translating. Okay, probably at the end of the day xëy na ñu ko translate for people watching back home on television xam nga waaye it should have been xam nga it should have been waroon nañ ko bàyyi rek ñu wax si angale xam nga tam loolu laa foog. That's my opinion. Why probably I looked at it in various ways. Mane xëy na tam for those people who might be watching back home xëy na loolu moo tax ñu ko translate noonu tam, which is fair enough. But my biggest disappointment of the night, Fatmata, that's not it. Pare mo de Bakary bear for me. My biggest disappointment of the night was Fatmata, could you believe ne? In England, right, the president, dafa ñëw xaaral ma wax li olof because bëgguma gars yi dégg ñu sax président bi mu ñëw fii pour yëfi Commonwealth bi du dégg Commonwealth bi moom la ñu wala ak entourage am yëpp. Can you believe ne biñ ne we should sing the national anthem yi gars yi fii gars yi lay wax de ñëpp di yuuxu ne comme like déedéet ñuy buu. That is very wrong. Please, suma nit yi we should never do that because that was the main reason lu tax kii ñëw. The most funny part mooy I'm telling you, only 5% knew the words.
Maybe that's why they booed. Because they don't know the words.
But are you serious?
I'm serious.
They're for serious, seriously. Ñu bari xamuñ words yi ñu nga ngungu rek xam nga. Can most of mandal how much do my point but I might don't have problem. But most of those things I guess ne you man don't wait. I was hearing myself. dama tiit xam nga so those things dama ñaan rek ñun as a community dañ war a de accept other communities especially we live fii lañ dëkka xam nga suñ xale yi di màggee fii ak yooyu yëpp dañ war a respect loolu is very important dañu war a wax ne ñun suñ bos rek lañ war a woy xam nga in terms of noonu fi li happen démba those days comme ni ko organisers yi waxee ñoom ñu dem bene léegi dañ war a woy ñaar yooyu I think it should be appreciated and loolu waruñ soo koo buu sax because loolu man unfortunately dama try pour turn suma volume bi down sax pour boom living on because I had some few people nga xam ne ñu ngi watch from suma liggéeyukaay ak yooyu xam nga buñ gis part boobu sax because that's a lot
since the organisers are still watching then su fekkee ne loolu dafa happen Marian I think what they should have done is write it on their website when they were advertising ne the president was coming and they're going to people are going to meet their president so they should have wrote that ne the two national anthems will be they call it in foofu noonu foog naa ne loolu tamit waroon na su ko defee suma maas yi nga xam ne xamuñ woot si dinaa ko jàng bala maa ñu ma xam ne it's on the table it's like a menu
Google bi sax di nga ko xam waaye Fatmata soo nekkee fii ñaata at nga apply pour sa kayiti fii bi sa buk bu xonxa bi Fatmata dang dee war a dem swear in ak wax
ay xaw ma ko Marian baalal ma man xaw ma woot si sax
Bakary knows what I'm talking about Bakary xam na lu ma wax
Bakary dafa xam woot si Marian bu ko ci another level Bakary xamu ko
Bakary xam na kañ sax Bakary yow xam na
lu Marian wax ni it perfectly makes sense xam nga comme soo ñëwee si dëkk dañ am luñ de ooyee bilateral relations you have to like respect both side of it ñun fii the tradition is when you got your permanent residency so naturalized balaa ñu laa jot that certificate you have to swear allegiance to the queen and you have to sing the national anthem man nag to be quite honest I don't sing it that often but I would sing it when I have to te boobu was one of the few times I ever have to sing
léegi te moom ma woyal la ko fii man dama mën a woy de ba
léegi
okay let's move on léegi to round up rek dégg nga Fatmata the last thing as a woman as a jigéen I was very disappointed ne xam nga suñ honorable Aïssatou Touré definitely démba dañ ko waroon a honor dañ ko waroon a amal a standing ovation and clap for her as a woman
I think so too.
because I felt when everything was hard in Gambia, fight be. To be honest, she was the first woman I saw with a broom, hamga, we initiate this balloting. And the thought that came to me in the first place was, wow, she is so brave. I felt for her till today. Mane, she was so brave. I was saying to myself, Ish, what is our Mr. JJJJJJAA going to do to her when that comes?
Yeah, I feel so too. I feel like she should have,
So I think wow, I think that she was the strongest woman ever to be seen in the Gambia. Man, there's strongness. I will give it to her. And she made us women feel that, hamga, we could do it. Because, man, if I look up to any woman in Gambia at the moment, to be honest, I would put my hand up for her. So yesterday, tears dropped my eyes. That is why I'm so upset, I suppose, because I felt that we should have given her a standing ovation, clap for her, condone her, and because this is a country for women as well. Hamga. And with that, this brings me to the point, in ensuring the party that we are talking about these days appreciate women. So that could have done it for me, seriously. So I think if anybody's watching from the UDP party, please take this as a feedback. Ms. Honorable Aïssatou, I myself, I want to say to you, thank you, really, as a woman, for standing up in that time, at that time, when definitely, honestly, no woman could have spoken in Gambia, and she did. So I think she should have been appalled yesterday, and to be honest, I'm disappointed in that. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's applaud for her. Then, if it wasn't done there, we will just give it to her. Okay, all right. Since you talk about Dr. Aïssatou. But anyway, Marian, moving on. Yes, I totally agree. I think at some point she should have been engaged in this thing. Her presence there was beautiful, but at least giving an opportunity to come out there and talk to people, especially new jigéen so moom mu ngi fa moom waroon na moo génn si mu wax ak jigéen ñi tuuti sax xam nga loolu tamit dafay gën a dooleel waaye ba tey rek kon there is room for improvement and like I said wow bala maa ñëw si the end part the wife, I got a feedback about Fatimata Barrow. The feedback I got was she was very nice and she like the approach because I have one or two people that actually felt she recognized them, she called them by the name, you know, and when she came, she waved, and you know, she really comported herself.
Yes, I think definitely she looked well. She looked well dressed, and you know she really represented herself very well, and she was always by the side of, and she was appalled people. You know, yes, I had nothing to say against her really. I think she was well mannered, and she's well groomed really. Yeah.
Okay. Bakari, seeing her from a distance. Yeah.
To be quite honest, I think we've discussed this earlier on. For me, the first ladies and her team are doing a marvelous job.
Yes, we've talked about this before, Bakari, did we? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she progressed into that role much more than her husband is doing. Or maybe she got a better team around her, because if you look at her from the early days of being a first lady to now, she's made some massive improvement. And
yes,
for some reason, I'm sorry to say this, you just think Barrow, 16 months into the presidency, you know, he should have been also excelling in certain areas. But unfortunately, for me personally, I might be biased because she could be a sister here. She's well more equipped into her role than our actual president. And whenever you see her, she's well.
I did once say to people, if she was given the position of a president, I think she would do really good. Because right now she knows how to comport herself, and she's a good learner. She learns, and she's you know, she's delivering. And there are certain things that she is not doing out in the open yet. But she, in terms of touching the heart of people, I think she's doing a lot. Yes, there are things that she is. People think she's doing wrong, because that's all right. It's part of it. It's part of the game. She will be criticized at some point, but I think yes. And then a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's very humble. She's very nice." Because I got feedback, and she at some point she even wanted to go out to people and approach them or talk to them or even shake hands and stuff like that. But protocol and people were like, no. They blocked that from happening. Yes, Lulu Amnapa. Let's go back. Like I said, this Mr. Jibril Fall, I really think he made it for me. Two people made it for me yesterday. It's Mr. Jibril Fall and the High Commissioner. Mr. Blaine, he was my hero of the night. The speech, 100%. He stood there, and at some point, I felt, is this our president or what? Because if he was presented to people like the president of the Gambia, oh my God, he will execute it. That man really gave it all out yesterday. So kudos to Mr. Blaine. I think the position that he hold there in the embassy, mom, dina pa taxaw tànk yu dëgër te dina ko yóbbu a long way, because look, the man is very intelligent. He's very humble, and he was up to date. He was point on. He knows. He knew exactly what to talk about, and you know what? He made me feel. Listening to him, I was like, "Oh, don't stop! Don't stop! Don't stop! Don't stop! Don't stop!" I feel on there. You know what? If he stepped down and then somebody else come and take over and start speaking, things will go wrong. And you know, before President Barrow came on stage, guess what? What happened? I was like, "Oh, please don't mess it for me." I was like that, and it is very sad that you have your president and you are feeling like that, because you know you have a lot of people criticizing him for some of the right reasons, some of the wrong reasons, and I think he has achieved a lot. I think I'm being honest here. I think he has achieved a lot, but because it's not out there, he is not coming out. These people are not coming out to tell us what he has achieved. This is the reason why
we are on his case every day. And if he cannot even come out, I think it is about time that he used the information minister. The information minister needs to come out and tell us information that we need to hear, because they have done a lot of travel, they have done a lot of things, so they need to come out and tell us what they have achieved, because they cannot be going around all these countries and not come out with even one single penny or something. So let them come out and tell us. So yes, and Marian, the last one. I think that is not your last one. I asked you a question about one particular person yesterday, and I want to talk about him. Ahmad Ba. We couldn't escape that guy. I got a lot of feedback that this guy was sitting there with socks, slippers, and you know dafa toxal foofu rek di waxtu wu de daf dee waare dafa amul dee waare olum dee tari Bakary ñëwal.
Fatmata, can you stop? Fatmata, can you stop?
No.
Fatmata, you know what? To be honest, Bakary, you know what? Let me tell you, Fatmata is putting me in stitches now. You know what happened, Fatmata? To be honest, on all two cases, you see, this is why I was talking, I'm much priority. Because for me, as soon as I entered the door, it's Ahmad Ba stood right in front of me.
He's my uncle then.
Uncle Bakary la?
So you know why? No, Bakary, apparently, he is kind of cute, you know. Because what happened, as soon as I entered the main door to get in, it was him standing there. I think he just didn't understand the whole crowd. So, and then he looked at me all the way up till down. But okay, me, I was so shocked that I had to meet Ahmad Ba just like that. You know, I went to my seat, and he was going in and out, just like that. So I went to my seat. I was sitting there. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I said, did I accidentally meet this person? Just like that.
Ahmad Ba dafa na machire mewambi. That's why he couldn't sit down.
So, Marian, Fakula one save us all the trouble. If they want to buy Ahmad Ba behind you, independent minister.
No, seriously. But well, this is my story. This is how I met Ahmad Ba yesterday.
Bakary waxal yaa ngi doon bëgg a wax dara ñëwal.
No, seriously, I mean, Lumako de yeka mo gena barisa, and it's funny. His MP is like a brother to me, so dama ko de toy. Coming back to this Barrow visit and everything about Lut Transport Chamber. Gis nga mention 92 people. It's about time Gambia su nekké ñu ngi bëgg emulate the criteria in the West. Then we started from somewhere. I'm not trying to disrespect any party leader or any leadership or Barrow. Why gis nga I'm not one of the most educated Gambians. Why tamit pour nga nekk yena place yi pour na is very important tam ñu start di elect nit ñoo xamne am nañ xam-xam bi ak pas-pas bi man bi xam nga parce que you've mentioned two people here. Mr. Fall, I think he got a doctorate or he's a professor. Mr. Blaine is a well-educated guy. So
absolutely,
it's about time you look into our politics into Gambia. Comme su nit buggee taxawal parti wala mu bugg a taxaw as a president, ñu am criteria bi nga xam ne that's where we benchmark them. Parce que tey Barrow high school graduate la at most. You can't xam nga léegi is what we invest is what we get in return. Xam nga I am happy with Barrow. Why I know he can do well. Why at the end of the day, tamit ñun Gambians yi ñoo ko select. We had probably better qualified Gambians, but henya tamit luñ dee wax ci Gambia léegi yàlla moo ko dogal. Why? I think we need to look at the criteria of our public officials parce que dafa avoid yu bari. Tey comme lu Fatoumata wax ni nowadays when Barrow is speaking, we feel sorry or we are just sitting in an egg. What next? No, seriously, it's hunger. It's painful. It's painful as a Gambian. And I'm not saying this to criticize Barrow. I love the humbleness of the man at the beginning. Why I think Munge say a little bit because the Barrow I saw from the beginning and the Barrow Buma gis legi, I'm seeing some massive difference. Hanga, gis nga niki nga humble nga lisa bopa, people who fall in love with you. While lately, Hamga mange notice a bit of a Hamga lunde wangur or why sometimes government or power don't change you. It reveals who you truly are. So if Barrow is that humble guy that all Gambians, because let me tell you one thing, this guy, Gambians, majority of Gambians voted for Barrow because of humbleness, Yaro Buin Gison Simom during the campaign and all that, and the coalition manifesto. Tay, to Barrow Tahawal, any party under or in the lead UDP, I don't think Barrow would pull off those number of votes he did at Yaya Jammeh's time, because there is so many changes will happen to people Bente. So it's not too late to Barrow reset that button be, look around himself and the team around him. Because at the end of the day, he's our president. New Boka party, Bokwin party, new Ute Gis, we all want to see Gambia do well. And for Gambia to do well, Barrow has to do well. Right now, Gambia is a bit hard work, but the honest truth, Barrow is also becoming a bit of a hard work. That's the honest truth. I'm not saying this to disrespect Barrow or anything, but
no. He knows that. He knows that everything that people are saying about him is not to disrespect him. It's because of the African base.
The fact that certain things for him Barrow waron nako wesul bopam, or he should have been a bit more informed or a bit more well equipped. Because in the West, if you're given a job, you're given what is called a probation period.
Yes.
3 months or maximum 6 months. The presidency doesn't have that. So it's about time Barrow apply bopam. He cannot fix all Gambian problem. We know that. Why the family and your things your hand, we shouldn't be talking about them because they are so minor your hand. Even you take up a little kid, put them there in the chair there, what na you for mona wesu? And communication is the key. So neke Barrow munge and people like Tony Blair advising him. Sometimes you just wonder na munge jail that advice because you deka in UK, Marian would tell you this. Tony Blair, until that Iraq war, he was one of the most loved MPs in the UK history.
To be honest with you, he was the MP of my time. I really loved that guy until the Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what Tony Blair was good at was managing information and public expectation. He used to have a guy called Peter Mandelson, Kokumone kon Pia Guruambi. And believe me, when Blair talk, people used to love him. Blair can articulate himself. If things doesn't go right, you get this team going around, the people like Peter Mandelson and all that, doing the PR thing. If Barrow is so close to Blair, is Blair not telling him this, or is Barrow not listening, or is someone just setting up Barrow to fail?
But did you watch Chatham House? Did you see the reaction of Blair? It's like he was not, wait, to be honest with you, it's like he was not even interested in whatever Barrow is trying to say. To be honest with you, go back to the videos and watch it. The guy was giving so much of eye contact, or he was really busy doing his suit again, or doing all sort of things. I was like, you know what? You're not even giving our president the time of the day. It's like you ask him one question and then you turn around and you're concentrating on who is standing there, or who's, I really feel that Chatham House thing was really all wrong. And the questions asked, did our president answer the questions right? I don't think so. Most of the questions weren't answered right. It's because, when you sit there and you have something on your chest, when someone asks you a question, even if you know the answer to the question, you will not answer that question. You want to bring out what is on your chest. So I think that's what President Barrow is doing most of the times. Like he's bringing out Holland than answering to questions that are, put down on the table for him. And like we keep saying, constructive criticism is allowed, and that's what we are doing. Everybody who touched on him, the president and his administration, it's not because we hate them. We can't hate them. We put you there for crying out loud. Well, we put you there for two reasons. Some of us put you there because we thought if we groom you within 6 months, you will be the president that we want. The other part that voted you in, they voted you in because we felt like, you know what? As long as Yaya Jammeh is out, we don't care who comes to sit down. And I want Gambians to learn from this thing today. Because of this mindset, Mother, we have to put up with President Barrow whether we like it or not. There are certain times in my life that I want to come out and really give it to him. And then again, I said to myself, you know what, I'm not going to bother myself with this. Because whether I come out and say whatever I have to say to him, he is still going to sit there to the end of the 3 years. So I think when the 3 years, 3 years jotted, that's when I would really come in and have to say things to him. And I will not insult him, obviously. One day, digga, 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 digga. Lee should teach us a lesson. Let us not always settle for, like, all right, we're doing this because we want Jammeh out. There were other people there. But then again, let's look deep outside the box. Because it was a coalition, right? And out of everybody, why did they select Barrow to come and take on that post? Did they put him there for a reason? They didn't want to sit down. All of them, none of them want to sit down. To be honest with you, right now, the man was my honest opinion. I feel all of them, especially those party leaders that have fought for freedom for the longest time ever, or fought to be a president for the longest time ever. Why didn't any of one of them take over that? And they push this guy into this. Is it because they know that a transition government is nothing to them? You will not be taken seriously? So are they waiting for the right moment? I really think, I've said this before in one of my videos, I really think dañ jiital waa di fa xatal ko. Because ñoom xam nañ they ko fa teg rek su ko defee moom mu pick up all the dirty work, and then now nobody is there to guide him or help him the way they're supposed to guide him. They are all doing things for their selfish reasons. Yes.
Let me come in there now, right? Because there's a point there that I noticed there. If you watch Honorable Usainu Dabo's speech, yeah, he clarified that his fight towards against this dictatorship, I can't even say the word dictatorship, was based on the fact that he wanted terms on the presidential candidacy. Terms. Please do go back and rewind and watch. And that was the most exciting part for me, because I wanted to ask a question towards that. So he said that he fought against the dictator because he wanted us to have terms in Gambia for the presidential candidacy. And that is what he advocates as the leader of his party. So now I am saying, we are watching that. He said it, that's what he fought for.
Anyway, guys.
I don't know whether any of you...
Can I just make a strong point on there?
Yes, go on. And I think that's up.
The point that Marian said there, that's where most us genuine Gambians that were in for this coalition, that's where we start falling out of love with the coalition. Because anger politician or leadership is quite important. You stick to your promises and your words. And like you point out, Fatimata, yes, there may be some people that have hidden agenda to see Barrow fail, but he is a man enough to see that and be smart enough to do something about that. Because at the end of the day, he is the president, not the foreign minister, not the interior. He is the president. And what he needs to do is he needs to put a team around him that will put Gambia first. Yeah? Coming back to this, what Marian just said, this term limit, rest in peace, and these political reforms and electoral reform, a guy called Solo Sanden, dead UDP, that's what he went out to for protest and died on that protest. Now, UDP, even though it's not a UDP government, we've got a UDP man-led parliament, majority parliament. So now, even their own party people, the things that they fought for, the things that they wanted for all Gambians to have, because term limits, age limits, and all these bad electoral rules, it just doesn't benefit UDP only, it benefits all Gambians. So now, 1 year over, if these people really, really want to make this happen, really, really want to change it, what's stopping them? Because the two things that really suit them, they've changed them already, which is the presidential age limit and other laws. Now, what about term limit? Could that not have been added into there? So you see, sometimes when we say things, we're looking at it from a Gambian perspective. We're not looking at party, we're not looking at individual selfish interest. But
can I come in there before my party? And this is why our president is going down. You know why?
Yeah.
He is looking at two things. Too much consideration. and thinking about betrayal. He is thinking, if I do this, if I move this person, if I do this, they'll think that I have betrayed them. If I do this, oh, I'm not considering them. Gis nga, defar nañ ko, formé nañ ko, def nañ ko fu mu war a taxaw tey. Gis nga lan ñu def, betray nañu. You are the president. Don't think like that anymore. You should be there for everybody. Right now, to be honest with you, I can even give him chance again. If he was today, he reshuffle everything. I'm not saying everybody should be out of there. To be honest with you, there are some genuine ones there. But because there are so many bad ones there, you can't even tell who is the genuine or not the genuine anymore. Like, look at this yesterday, what happened. Everything that Mr. Dabu said, if it is tight, if it is prepared, why didn't they put it there for him to read out? Why? Why should somebody else stand there and make himself look good and not him? Why should he allow that as a president? So I think I cannot see myself really, to be honest with you, anymore blaming people over these things that are happening. I can only blame him. He's adult enough. He's adult enough. And for crying out loud, you are the president of the Republic of the Gambia. So, suñ la ko waxut sax war nga xam lan nga war a def right now. It's about time. We don't need to make so much noise on Facebook like this. People that, it's so, it's so frustrating that I don't personally know people that know. I know few know President Barrow from those days, right? And, some of them will come out and tell you that he is changed now. He's a changed man. And I question one or two people. I said, change in what form? Because he's not calling you like he used to call you. I challenge. I said, look, he's a president. He can't call you like he used to call you anymore. He's like, no. The man has changed. We're looking at him from a distance. We can tell you that this is not the same man that we knew then. When he was put there as a president, we all had hopes. Saying that, you know what, this is the right candidate, this is the right man, this country is going to go to where we want it. And the Western Wall, they opened their arms to us. You know why? Because they saw a humble guy there. They thought that this is the guy that the Gambians chose, and this guy, the way we see him, he is so humble, and he is so mannered. Well, he can, President Barrow, mënoon nañoo indi lu nekk suñ biir dëkk bi. Lu mu bugga bu ko yootoo am ko. Because mu ngi woon ci moom ba ko njëkkee commencé xaaral ma jël bi ci olof mu ngi woon ci moom waaye fi mu nekk yàqu-yàqu bu bari moo am parce que xam nga lu tax xëy na am na yu bari yu nga xam ne tegu ci tànkaam nekkul di ko def mu ngi tax ñu ngi make noise bi ñu war a make di ko criticize, and we have to do it because if we see things are not going right, if he feels that there are certain areas that are developed and they don't come out and to tell us what has been developed or the things that they are doing, obviously, we are going to sit there and criticize. And when you criticize, like I said, social media, everybody gets to hear it. And at some point, the Western Wall, let me tell you, even if they wanted to do something for the Gambia, they will hold back. They will hold back. Because they will think that Gambia is not ready yet. Gambia is not ready yet. And who are they going to blame for that?
Barrow is missing a golden opportunity for him. And I feel for him genuinely because Leo.
I feel for him genuinely too. I think I really wanted him to stay on as a president, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If he had the right people around him.
Gisnga Barrow wouldn't have to do much to win over Gambians and the world because the yardstick there for the last 20 years and the benchmark was so low, it's just a little effort and a little emphasis La Barrow Warona Def. He would have built a lasting legacy. Why now what we're saying is he deviated from the main thing. I've posted this a while back. That's the reason why for nearly 5 years until recently, an African president, ex-African president didn't win an award. There is this award called Mo Ibrahim Award for Good Governance. But until this Liberian president that just stepped down, the lady, happens to win it. Barrow could have been the next African to win it in 3 years' time. Guess what? People who are advising Barrow or people who are enticing Barrow to stay longer are not putting Barrow and Gambia's interest at heart. And it's better now Barrow realize Lolo and he wake up to the coffee. Because Leo, we've seen it in Jawara. When he decided to step up in Mansa Konko, they persuaded him, we end up being with Yaya Jammeh. We've seen it with Yaya Jammeh. They came in for 2 years, where we end up with him for 22 years. This is a presidency. That is something that is called lasting legacy. Barrow, man, if I was in his shoes, the best thing he could do for himself and for Gambians, now honor that 3 years agreement, mu def liggéey bu moo def, dina tedda bem dee. He will be recognized and renowned anywhere he goes. To pare extend lolo by a month or by even 2 years, because some of this conversation or argument I keep hearing on Facebook, it just doesn't sell on me or it doesn't stick. Because Doma Munawane, people like Mai Fati, people like Halifa Sallah, I call him Mr. Constitution, all these people sat down and make this agreement. These 3 years was never an issue during that agreement. Why are we having this argument? Or the constitution supersedes everything? These people knew the constitution said 5 years. These African leaders, it's about time you hold them accountable, because they always like to push the goalpost and then to extend these things. They agreed on the 3 years, knowing perfectly well that our constitution said 5 years. Legi bul dem nga nah niti benga am linga buga nga buga ñew di ñu indil ay
in the constitution.
It doesn't sit well.
But you know what? You know what, Bakari? The saddest part. I know time is up now. We have to go. Marianne is tired. She's half asleep, and I'm half asleep as well. The saddest part of all of this, Bakari, is going to be this man that we all fall in love with. This man who had a great story. This man that the future generation can sit there and say, he has given us hope. And then someone will ask them, how has he given you hope? Like, you can be anybody, and still, if you have to be a president, you'll be a president. This man, like you said, could have made it for himself in a way, table beginning. Yakar bañ am duñu sa tas parce que dañu naan ne man suma bopp tey man mun naa koo nekk xoolal tey rek suñ ne Barrow exemple nga ne Fatima Jabi beneen exemple Fatima Jabi you are tey as a single, you started off as a single parent, and now from a single parent and everything you end up being a first lady of Sierra Leone, right? So you know what, dafa war dañ war a President Barrow war naa jàngal bari ci loolu. And my mother, when you were quite mother, can you believe it? This man, a very good guy, a very decent guy, a very humble guy, a guy that can build a legacy. Boo xam ne bu ko fi bàyyee tey sitaati sitam sax dinañ mun a enjoy ne suñ baay suñ maam suñ lii yëpp dafa yàqu pour lan. It is very sad that dafa yàqu, not because of what he himself as a person did, just because of the people that surround him. Can you imagine? It is so sad that your people will not vote for you because of the people that surround you. They am nga loolu dafa sad moo tax foofu dafa war a bàyyi xelam xoolaat boppam bu baax ne non man duma ko nangu xanaa kon man dama strongly lii dama ko waxoon sama benn video before man I strongly believe ne Barrow is not interested in this post as a president. That's why he is not doing so much effort to reshuffle or to make sure things go back or things should be the way it's supposed to be. Because duna na hardship become nini Gambia ni ko dundee. Duna na xam na li niti Gambia xam na li tax nit ñi bëggoon Yaya Jammeh mu génn fa kon ku toog tey danga war a toog toogaay bu rafet wane ne xëy suma nit ñi dafa am luñ sofoon man duma nangu ñu toogaat may la naa jox silence treatment duma nangu ma toog may nangu suma nit ñi ñuy sofal raw luñ sofoon xam nga tey fi gën a métti tey danga naan Yaya Jammeh lu mu doon def métti na de waaye bi Barrow def nii moo gën a métti ñun bi ñu Yaya Jammeh def parce que Barrow knows the mistakes. He knows where he's been failed. He knows the genuine ones, but he still gets to keep them. So now, what is there to say to him? Nothing. The best thing to do is let him be till his 3 years, and then people will come and show him that. 22 years of Yaya Jammeh, he was out. Now 3 years of your time, you are out too. And it is very sad. That day, whatever many end up. I don't see him. Hana yalla de. Si katani yalla nak. Yalla ne dina fa togaat dina fa toog waaye dafa fekk tamit wan na Gambia ni lii tax ni mun ko faa fekk. Ma bàyyi la nga wax sa last words bi pare Marianne wax bi pare nag ñu daal di tëj show bi foog naa ne tey toog nañ ci lu yàgga te wax nañ ci lu yàgga tamit di jéggalu rek
jërëjëf jërëjëf Sister Marian ak suñ panéliste yi ale di jaajëfal tamit ñu toog di ñu seetaan luñ fi waxuñ ko fi pour disrespect anybody. We are genuine concerned Gambians. Gambia moo ñu ñor te ñun we wanna see Gambia do well. We wanna see our leadership do well. At the end of the day luñ fi yaaga ñu ne jël ay banta lum yaaga si géej du la tax a nekk jësit so ñun amuñ fen fu gën Gambia we are in right now, it can do much better. It's not like we're forcing the issue, but it can do much better. And the buck stops with Barrow. I'm not finna moko yereme why I'm not finna he needs to put his foot down and do what he needs to do because
they're using him.
Yeah, he's been used in some way. The pare tamit di ñaan si ñun Gambian yëpp Gambian we entitled to our opinions. Lu ñoo def tam ñu def ko si respect yar ak teegin buñ si boole saaga ak yu demee parce que at the end of the day leaders come and go but Gambia would stay ñun mbooka bu fa nekk ak deret bu fa nekk would stay so bu kenn mënu ko dini so let's just remember that buñ nangu party politics or leaders come and divide us because Gambia is for all Gambians te tey lu happen Gambia rek dina happen si every Gambian so di jaajëfal ñëpp di la jërëjëf yow tam si sa time bi Sister Marian ak ñi ñoo seetaan yëpp ba beneen yoon thank you very much everyone.
Jërëjëf Bakary kontaan naa trop having you on board. You did really well and di rafetlu ne saa yu ma ootee rek nga wane sa bopp wane ne yow tam bëgg nga cee bokk ci waxtaan bi dañ need things like this ñëw nañ taxaw toog fii waxtaan nañ ko ci yar ak teggin duñ saaga duñ wax loo xam ne waruñ ko fee wax tamit am na yu bari nag loo xam ne xëy na wax nañ ko fi loo xam ne xëy na waruñ koo wax ngeen jàppee ko rek ne suñ ñàkk a mut rek la waaye nekkut ne def ñu neex ñu toog fi wax ko naka lañ ko fi waxee Myriam ñu daal di la bàyyi yow it ngay tàggoo ñun tamit man tam ma tàggoo ñu daal di cëdi
waaw ma di leen jaajëfal tam Fatmata thank you pour suñ programme bi tey it was very good Bakary well done jërëjëf wax nga raise nga points you very important and you are a real gentleman you spoke with calmness and your message you sent it through very nicely thank you I applaud you for being you and ñoom Njog before we thank Njog and James and Awaba and Mr. Nyas for their participation in this program tonight. Wow, and Musa Kurubali as well. Okay, my opinion, what I want to say today now is just to close the program is please do not get offended on anything that I said here because it's my analysis. I was there, I was watching, like I said, attentively because I am a person who represents what I witnessed. I don't like to go here, say this, say that, say.
Yes.
I was there and I saw what happened, and that's what I believed I brought to you. So it is all in the range of we are trying to make our government, our people happy, and we are trying to improve. So all what we said here is this constructive criticism so that we can get improvement. Like we all appreciate when someone stands up and speaks nicely. That brings it to me saying, please, Gambia, let's always look at who is efficient for whatever job we want to give them. When it comes to our people that represents us and stand in front of nations, I wouldn't say our nation, nations to represent us, we must be proud of them. They must be able to deliver our voices throughout the world. So we should be very, very selective in people who represent us. Like we will say kudos to Djibufal. He did absolutely amazing, like we said. We want people like that to stand there for you because, like I said, if you're going to stand in front of 1 million people, with 1 million people behind you, 1 million people in front of you to deliver a message, you better know what you're saying. And you better have the guts to stand there. So Gambians, dama wax rek ne ci suma kaddu bu gata luma fi wax dal bu len ma mere I don't get offended dama wax suma opinion te ñun ñep dañ dé contane comme niñ ko dé waxé rek di gis suñ morom di def good ñun ñep fi képp ko fi wax tay praise na lu baax lu mu gis ci nit ben ñaan nekku fi ñun ñep wax nañ fuñ kontaane ak fuñ fogg ne improvement wat na am lolu mo la won ne rek we are trying to move forward. So, I mean, the choices of putting people in front of us, let us be very selective and be wise. Lola Amon Purwate, I hope we all have a good evening until we come back with another interesting topic that will develop our tomorrow. We stay home to the Gambia ever true.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everybody. To everybody, for everybody. Thank you very much to everybody that came on board and participated. As a panelist. Kontaan nañ trop di leen gërëm di leen sant bu baax a baax waaye gërëmaate bi yëpp nag ki ko gën a moom mooy audience ñi nga xam ne ñoom saa yu ñu oote rek ñu ñëw seetaan ñu di ci kontaan bu baax ku ci mel ni Adam Diame Adam jërëjëf gis nañ ne saa yu ñu oote rek nga ñëw Aïssatou Faye Nelson di la ziar bu baax di la wax ne jërëjëf di wax ne naka Cheikh Taxni Ndiaye yaa ngi si biir kër gi nuyu naa la ziar naa la bu baax Yande Savage nuyu naa la yaa ngi si biir kër gi Bintu ndeysaan Binta Ba tamit yow tamit gis nañ li nga bind ak li nga wax yëpp kontaan nañ ci bu baax a baax Awa Ka yaa ngi si biir kër gi Awa Ba yow mi ñëwoon léegi sa contribution dégg nañ ko rafet na kontaan nañ ci bu baax a baax di Tommy Ngom ndeysaan suma nit bu baax sa Amérique di la nuyu di la ziare bu baax nama naa la bu baax a baax pa yaa ngi si biir kër gi suma xuloo waa léegi Pa Modou Diop yaa ngi si biir kër gi Pa Modou bu what has he achieved Pa Modou lu maa wax dama gëm ne xëj na président bi achieve na lu bëri dafa bañ a ñëw génn wax rek di kenn xamatul sax lu muy wax kenn xamatul lii lu muy nduru pa kon yéen ñëpp ak si biir di leen ziare bu baax a baax yow Mariane yow baalu àq yow ki nga war a baalu àq mooy suma nijaay di nijaay Bakary Ba di Amad Ba yow képp ku lay mere rek Amad Ba rek lay mere waaye man ki nga xam ne moom a kool di ma wax ne kawas yi Amad Ba sol démba toog ak si li paasam loolu dama ko ne ko mere naa ko ni waroon na maa nataalal Amad Ba kawas ak yooyu si li paasam ak kébétoom bi yónnee si ma ko fii su ko defee ma dal di ko ne ko tas Facebook man nag pour wax leen dëgg nag man Amad Ba mooy suma next président moom laay campagne jàll te moom laay
good night. Good night.
Subhanallah. Good night.
kenn mënu ci dara man Amad Ba maa la jël Amad bu la nit ñi jëlee sànni la fee man mii maa la jël ba maa la jël amee la pol bi dina ta meew di la jox ngay jox nga cere jox la waaw njool bu naka la njool bu lifin xaw ma maa ko jël lan la ku fi sànneeti ma jël maa jël Amad Ba Amad Ba next president of the Gambia maa ko suñu këree dina ko ma
how that he was accidental man I accidentally bumped into him yesterday. Good night.
Everybody, good night. Thank you very much for watching us. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we come in with a continuation of the program that we have last week. See, the Miriam touch fi kaas yëpp nañu ne bu kuy ñaanati méga show nga ñaan may bu njëkk lal ak lan bedroom set Miriam ëllëg nag lañ koy jekkali ëllëg la waxtaan bi yaatu te ëllëg bu neex jërëjëf.
Thanks, bye everyone.
Bye everybody.